Look who's here. Look who's here. I really hope the microphone is well. It should be. I've worked on this yesterday because on a weekend it was shit. Well, here we are. So there are some videos I want to react to. Let's do that. I really wanted to watch some of these videos because I'm really interested in this, but I also wanted to watch it with you guys. You know, content and entertainment. And I think we go with Code Violet. I can't believe this released on PS5. So far I haven't heard anything good about this. So this is gonna be entertaining. First things first, this was supposed to be a spiritual successor to Dino Crisis. Legendary series from the 2000s? Late 90s to early to mid 2000s. Hey Jesse, GeoGuessr on the weekend. Maybe no, I can't do tomorrow. The only time I have time is when you are asleep tomorrow. I know you have been waiting, but actually we get. Oh wait. Yeah, not today. On a weekend. We have to do it on a weekend. This week is not going well so far. But we have content. Let's hope this is going to be good. It's by G-Man Lives. Great channel. I mean, there's a reason he has over 800,000 subscribers. Oh, wait, you don't have school this week? Oh, okay. Yes, 200 subs, that's me. Slowly crawling up to 500. Slowly crawling up to the monetization. But it will take a moment. So, Code Violet. This already doesn't look good. Oh no. 5 seconds in and look at her face. Did you see how she looked at the camera? The fourth wall breaking. Oh my god. The developers thought they were smart. Oh my god. We had a long summer break. Right, in Australia it's summer. Here it's the exact opposite. Why did that? What happened? What? Number one, that gameplay in the water looked horrible, and what happened? What were these cuts? What happened there? I'm kind of confused. And where does the waterfall here come from? Because that wasn't anywhere in other frames. What's going on here?
What the hell is that?
Well, the first PS5 exclusive of 2026 is here with Code Violet, developed by Team Kill Media, the guys behind the critically acclaimed Quantum Error. Alright, well, you know
Never heard about that game, I think.
what, maybe not traditionally critically acclaimed, but according to the devs, they make games for the players and not critics, okay? Which is an odd thing to say given how the user score for Quantum Error is lower than the aggregate critic score. And then of course we got the...
That's never a good thing. What is this outfit? I mean, that she's showing skin is nice and all, right? But what is this? What's going on here?
user score for Code Violet.
The user score is 0.3? Oh no. Oh, based on 9 users. Yeah, that doesn't mean a lot.
But either way, in their eyes, that's the only possible reason behind the overall weak and negative response their latest work has gotten from critics. Well, I'm here to say that I'm not a critic. I'm just some idiot with a YouTube channel, and I think that this game is absolutely dreadful.
What the fuck is going on here? The clipping is horrendous.
It's one of the crappiest survival horror games I've ever played, and a lot of its problems are compounded by the price they're asking. I mean, look, man, I've played a lot of these indie survival horror titles.
Jesus. The jiggle physics. To be fair, I like the jiggle physics.
On PC, some of which are good, some of which are bad, and some of which are so bad they're good. But none of them asked for 80 of my hard-earned Australian dollary dues.
What?
And that is where Code Violet differs and why I think it's more than worthy of criticism.
I just can't believe what's going on.
I mean, if this thing were even half the price, it might have been fine, but it's kind of hard to ignore all the glaring faults when the price tag's that high. Everything about this game just seems kinda shady, ain't calling me baby, why the sudden change? I mean, for starters, they didn't release this on PC, only the PS5, which they have said on social media is to prevent people from modding their game and doing unsavory things to their female protagonist. But as a lot of people have also pointed out, you can't ask for refunds for a game bought on the PlayStation Store. You know, compared...
Wait, what? You can't? What retardation is that, Sony? Fuck you, Sony. Go suck my dick. No, not mine. I don't want your STDs, please.
to Steam, where getting a refund is a pretty easy process. The good news is that I'm hopefully going to prevent more people from falling victim to buying this thing. And to be honest, I wouldn't even...
What the fuck? Did you see how this moved to the side? It literally just... The legs weren't moving, nothing. There was no animation, it's just moved to the side. The fuck?
even need to do all that much than just post a single gameplay clip to prove my point. However, I'm really just getting started. But before I get too far into things, I do have to thank Raycon for sponsoring this video. Now that we're heading into the new year, it's a perfect time to look at upgrading your audio gear. Whether it be to help you with fitness goals or just when creating content, Raycon's new bone conduction headphones are perfect for the job. And what's cool about these is that they actually sit outside your ears. So you can listen to music or podcasts or whatever else you're doing while still being able to hear what's going on around you. They're designed for all day use too, with 13 hours of battery life, a water and dust proof.
I would prefer something with a cable. A detachable cable. So when the cable breaks, I can just buy a new cable. Would be way better.
Rating of 68, which is about the highest you can get, plus a comfortable fit that ensures they don't slip off. And the best bit about all of this is that you're getting premium performance without a premium price tag, with the quality rivaling the bigger brands but at half the cost. Now, I've been using different kind of Raycons now for over half a decade, and I'm constantly impressed at just how easy to use they always are, with it always being super simple to connect them to whatever device I'm using. And just great to chuck on when I have some time to kill doing stuff around the house and want something to listen to while I do it.
Oh no.
Or when I'm going outside to go for a walk. 3 million customers can't be wrong, but even if you somehow don't like them, there's a 30-day happiness guarantee. So yeah, it's the perfect time to upgrade your audio gear for the new year. Go to buyraycon.com/gmanlivesbc to get 20% off site-wide. And once again, thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video.
And over.
Right, so the game opens up with a quote from Leonardo da Vinci about how every work of art begins with a black canvas, as the game opens up with a black screen of its own. And if that doesn't instantly tell us what kind of ego the devs have, then I don't know what does.
Yeah, the exact same ego all those millennial game developers have. They all have that. It's horrible.
The story is you're playing as a woman named Violet who's living on the planet of Trappist-1E after Earth has apparently become uninhabitable. After an intro cinematic which tells us basically nothing as Violet seemingly teleported in, it then jumps ahead 6 years as she wakes up out of cryo.
What?
Oh my god.
To find the entire place in
That doesn't make any sense. Literally makes zero sense.
disarray and hostile dinosaurs roaming the area and killing everyone on sight, with the goal being to reunite with your allies and escape the planet. And look, if nothing else, it is a pretty solid premise, and the whole waking up in an abandoned facility that's overrun with monsters want.
This literally looks like Dead Space. Like, one-to-one, a copy of Dead Space. Just with a barely clad chick.
To kill you is the hallmark of good survival horror. Only you very quickly see how crappy things actually are, with this initial chase sequence from a couple of raptors being just absolutely woeful.
Yeah, this
With
is
it
bad.
obviously supposed to be tense and frightening that Violet barely manages to escape, but instead it's just laughable, especially considering how she's dressed. And on that note there, I guess we should dive into that early on here, and that's Violet's whole appearance. Where it is kind of funny looking back to how the devs said they didn't want to make this available on the PC to prevent people from making vulgar versions of the main character. Where firstly, it's kind of like, check your ego, your game's not that much of a big deal, guys. And let's be honest.
Yes, it's not that big of a deal, because look at it. This looks like one of those scam games you would see on Steam that costs $10. Or not even on Steam, on Kickstarter. So, someone just bought store assets, put them together, and then, oh yeah, give me $2 million. This is what this reminds me of.
Honest man, Violet's no Margot Robbie or Samara Weaving. Secondly, you ever heard of the Streisand effect?
Who else knows?
But then, thirdly, and perhaps the most ironic of all, is how the game opens where they're running around in her underwear anyway. Not to mention, you'll eventually find and unlock a whole bunch of different outfits, which show off all manner of skin, and completely butcher the horror tone the game's going for. Remember how in old survival horror games like Silent Hill 3 or RE4, how you could unlock these goofy costumes for the female characters after you'd beaten the game?
How rude!
Yeah, so the whole tone and premise wasn't totally ruined. Yeah, well, in Code Violet, you can dress.
Yes, exactly. You play through the game and unlock things. That you replay the game because you want to, just for the fun, and you have your character, look silly or hot or whatever. Yeah, totally. This makes no sense. This is bad game design, I would say. Or at least stupid.
Up in an outfit called Badonkadonk, or wear arseless chaps for your.
Really? Why? This is literally the name of a skin mod on a modding site for a game. I mean, it's not that I don't like this. I mean, I like to look at but this, why?
The first playthrough. But yeah, I'm sure glad that someone didn't mod in a vulgar version of the character, man. That would have totally ruined the art. And look, don't get me wrong, I've got no issue with.
Yeah, I got zero issues with this. But, I'm a man.
this stuff, and in fact, I'm very pro this kind of stuff. I've always said that if I'm playing a game and I've got to
Ooh.
stare at the back of someone's
Now this looks nice, but what game is this? Because this is a different game.
ass for 8 hours, well, I'd rather it be a woman's. But it just becomes pretty obvious here early on that that whole excuse the devs had for not making this a PC game as well is just total bullshit. The funniest thing about all of this too is that it doesn't even really matter because your outfits don't even carry over into cinematics, where they're
What?
just going back to the default one every time.
This is even dumber. How is it that this is getting even dumber? Why? How? It shouldn't be the case.
What I think really happened here is that they tried to go for the whole Stellar Blade approach with the marketing, you know, trying to advertise their protagonist as being this similarly attractive female. The only issue is that Stellar Blade had a good game to back it up, and Code Violet obviously doesn't.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the first thing you kind of notice about the game is just how subpar the whole thing looks.
Yeah, just
And yeah, like the first thing
look at this shirt. Why does it look like that? It shouldn't. It absolutely shouldn't. If a person stands up with a shirt, and this shirt is very obviously not skin tight, so it should just drop. But it doesn't. Why? Makes no sense. This is a deliberate choice how this is supposed to look. And it looks retarded.
you kind of notice about the game is just how subpar the whole thing looks. I mean, for a PS5 exclusive, this just looks really piss weak. Violet's ass cheeks kind of disappear when she crouch walks, for instance. You got
Yeah.
that brief chase sequence from those couple of raptors, which just looks embarrassing. And all of the cinematics look like those
Yeah, the chase scene looks like it's from a mod for a full price game. Someone modded something into a full price game. That's how this looks.
fake gameplay trailers you'd see someone make for YouTube, with horrendous facial animations and lip syncing, combined with utterly awful voice acting.
Hello? Is anyone there?
There's this really bad channel on YouTube that's the perfect example of what I'm talking about, called Teaser Play.
I am the one who knocks.
And this genuinely looks like the kind of slop that those guys would push out back when they used to farm content.
Where are you? What is happening?
Are you okay?
There.
Along with having all the other trademark effects of the Unreal Engine 5, like with mirrors and other reflections. It's also like an incredible
Yeah, just look at the mirroring. It looks horrible.
effects of the Unreal Engine 5, like with mirrors and other reflections. It's also
How is it that in 2026 we have lost the technology of 2010? How? Why? Why is this a thing? It's so dumb. You could have reflections in the mid 2000s, literally, but they don't.
like an incredibly static game world and doesn't really have any kind of interaction. And outside of like shooting vases for spare ammo, everything else may as well be made out of concrete. But I
What?
don't know, like maybe this was done to try to recapture the feel of those older PS1 era survival horror titles. Like after all, this is supposed to be a throwback to Dino Crisis, right? So maybe the reason is because they've tried to accurately replicate those older pre-rendered backgrounds by making the environments here completely lifeless. Nah, they just fucked up. But look,
Yeah.
we're getting a bit sidetracked. Let's get back to the campaign. Right.
Now, this is a good sidetrack.
So the game opens, we're alone in this facility, yada yada yada. Violet finds a walkie-talkie and gets into contact with someone named Jason, who she apparently knows very well, despite us having no idea who he is, other than that he looks like the Wish.com version of Carlos from RE3.
Oh,
Violet, calm down and listen to me.
Jason says he's locked in the incubator area, which does give us our first main objective, which is to find and rescue him.
I don't know what that is.
But not before one of the many flashback scenes in the game, showing Violet as what I assume is supposed to be a young girl, even though it's pretty clear all they've done here is swap out the body but keep the same face model. Once I finally got into exploring the area,
which doesn't even make sense. I mean, sure, making a face is way more time intensive and harder than just a body. But yeah.
After this, I head off into one of the nearby rooms and immediately got mauled by a raptor and lose half my health. So I retreated, I checked out another room, and then another raptor finished me off. So I restart, I find some ammo, I managed to actually kill a couple of raptors this time, as well as exploring the area long enough to find some items and mess around with the crafting system. Because a lot like classic survival horror titles, you're constantly finding components here which can be turned into different things, like ammo or healing items.
Which is fine. This is good. This is good. Generally, stuff like that is good. I mean, I play upgraders. Of course I like this.
I even find an upgrade station for my gun around here too, where I can spend a resource called mites to improve weapon stats for damage, reload times, and capacity. And then after a bit more exploring, I'm killed again. This also highlights one of the game's main mechanics, is how you often start bleeding after taking damage, where the only way to stop it is to use a tourniquet or a medkit. However, as this is only 10 minutes into the game, I don't have either of those things. So every time I take damage, about all I can do here is just run around and wait for myself to slowly bleed out and die.
Yeah, this is bad game design. This is Code Violet, a PS5 exclusive. And they, by the way, said they wanted to be exclusive for PS5 because they don't want PC gamers to mod the game and make inappropriate skins for their main character. The woman in underwear here. Practically DayZ with ass. Quality-wise, the games might be on the same level.
Now, you do get bandages here, an item which is famously used in video games to stop bleeding. But instead, this is one of the components you need to craft a tourniquet when combined with steel. Or, you know, how about I combine that bandage with the bleeding wound that's slowly killing me? It also introduces another
Bad game design.
really annoying feature where a lot of the time when you take damage, Violet's not only going to be knocked on a rust,
What the fuck happened there? With the raptor? What the fuck?
but also drop her equipped weapon. Which means you
More bad game design. Holy crap, this is painful for a PS5 player. Well, yeah. For everyone.
not only need to mash the X button to get back up, but then also pick up the gun and then re-equip it before you can start firing. All of which, of course, has to be done while you've got a velociraptor breathing down your neck.
Bad game design.
This early area also introduces one of the other few dino types with the compies, those small little assholes that do this really annoying thing where they run up to you, attack, run off for a bit, and
The way they run is... I would expect to see that in a mod that's in early development, but not in a $80 game.
then just come back again, which just becomes incredibly annoying and happens throughout the entire game. And is almost a bit of a jump scare because they're so tiny that they often blend in with the environment. Anyway, after restarting again, I try a different room, which has one of the most bizarre minigames ever to unlock it. And find myself in the kitchen, where I instantly got ambushed from behind by 2 raptors and died.
Of course. Of course that's what's going to happen. Of course, yeah.
And that is the other thing I want to bring up about
Again,
the game, is just how crap. And that is the
I like the outfit. At least the pants. I wonder why. If you play this game for 15 minutes, then never touch it again for the rest of your life. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, not even hot chick makes this game worth playing. And God knows, I've wanted to play games just for the hot chicks, and I saw gameplay and I went, nope. Nope.
The other thing I want to bring up about the game is just how crappy the controls are when it comes to aiming and shooting. I mean, it's really quite hard to overstate just how clunky the controls are. I've been playing RE4 on my GameCube for the past week, on and off, just out of boredom, and every time I go back to replay that game, I'm always amazed at just how smooth the shooting still feels all these years later. And yet, coming from that to this, a game that has come out 20 years after it, this thing is somehow worse and harder to hit anything.
Yeah, the question is not the age of the game, it's the care of the developers and the abilities. That's what's the problem here. This feels so bland and unoriginal. Well, it's a spiritual successor to Dino Crisis. So they basically took Dino Crisis, and that's it. That's it. And made a more modern version of it, and they failed.
I think the most annoying thing is how every time you're close to a wall or any solid object, the camera kind of zooms into Violet's torso, and you quite literally cannot see what you're shooting at. Something which happens throughout the entire campaign, really just being this annoying handicap that shouldn't exist in a game like this. You know, where a couple of hits can otherwise kill you. Because there's no manual saves either at this point due to it still being very early on, I'm constantly having to retry all of these sequences over and over as I try to figure things out. For instance, I was able to soon get back into the kitchen and deal with those raptors by killing them with a grenade that was able to hit them through the wall.
More bad game design.
But even that was on my second attempt, because on the first attempt I misjudged the massive blast radius that those grenades have.
Of course.
But in my defense, I mean, just look at this. Like, I'm standing this far away from it, and it still somehow hurts me.
Yeah.
After this, I explored a bit more of my surroundings, coming across a small gap that I need to squeeze through because, yeah, remember squeezing through small gaps?
And the gap is basically wide enough for her to just walk through it. That's also a thing here. This is dumb. I never liked things like this.
And this leads me to an area where I've got to dodge like a laser grid using a black light, like it's Metal Gear Solid. Finally finding Violet's armor with the smart suit, which doesn't really change things up all that much apart.
But it looks good, to be fair, it looks good. But that's basically only because it's just skin. It's just skin. It's skin tight. That's what it makes it look good.
From just apparently giving her high damage resistance.
I found the suit.
Great.
The only other interesting thing about the suit is this whole cloak mechanic, which is a bit of a misnomer, considering it doesn't even really cloak you. It just turns you into Emma Frost from the X-Men, or at least with your clothes anyway.
What?
Where apparently you're now invisible to the dinosaurs and just can run right up to them and blast them in the face while they stand there completely oblivious. And it is...
This is... I mean, in general, the idea of that cloak is a good one. But the implementation might not be that great.
It's actually hilarious how they don't even really bother to run away. They just stand there so defeated and cop this abuse head on.
Because the AI is shit. That's literally just it. I tell you, the people that create the AI for enemies in games these days are so much worse than the people in the 2000s and in the 90s. It's horrible. Remember, the AI in Far Cry 1 was created by one person, and it was a total game changer back then. No one has seen anything this great before.
Something though which is also downright essential later on in the game when you're going up against 3 or 4 of these at once. It's also the only way you can use grenades, considering otherwise, every enemy in the game just runs right up to you for a melee attack. And as we ascertained earlier, the blast radius on those grenades is insane.
Yeah.
Snake, are you
I wish this was the thing in the game, but it's not.
okay? Snake? Snake?
I'm also kind of convinced that the cloak effect only looks like this because the developers are oblivious and just didn't know how to incorporate a more traditional stealth effect. You know what I mean? Like the typical effect you'd see in any other game when you had some kind of a cloaking mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and speaking of oblivious, can I mention how the door...
Oh my god, I like the skin. Can you tell why?
sound effect when you enter the armory is literally the door sound from the original Doom. I mean, listen.
Yes, it is.
And I'm convinced there as well that they didn't even include this ironically. I'm kind of guessing it's just the sound effect they went with when they were looking through whatever sound effect library they pulled all this stuff from.
Yeah, I agree.
From this point on though, it does at least start to adhere to survival horror norms with a lot of the hallmarks.
As game, literally, yes. And I don't have a problem with that. With that as. The rest of the game, as yes, I have a problem with.
That being things like a safe room with a manual save point, plus an item box to dump out excess items and free up your inventory. You got a map screen which makes navigation easier, there's enemies that can poison you and the only way to fix it is with an antidote, plus there's old keys which can open specific locks, and your backpack size can be upgraded too. But then it also has very unsurvival horror stuff as well, like respawning items, like if you quit the game and load back.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you have that in a survival horror game? Makes absolutely no sense.
For some reason, all the items have come back again. And every time you go back to one of those armories where you upgrade your guns, there's these ammo boxes on the walls which are almost always topped up again with randomly generated ammo for one of your weapons. Although
Great.
It seems to understand the importance of inventory management, the inventory interface is incredibly clunky, and you can't stack up.
Why am I not surprised? Is anyone... Chat, are you surprised that the inventory is clunky? Anyone? Just out of curiosity. It looks cluttered. Because it is.
Up a lot of these items, leaving you with lots of duplicates that take up huge chunks of space. You can't combine items in the item box either, you first have to drag them to your inventory, which is just needlessly time wasting. On a positive note though, you do get the shotgun very early on here, which is another classic survival horror staple, which means I did have a better chance of defending myself and not getting killed during every single enemy encounter. Though the shotgun does have this really weird bug where if you keep pressing the reload button over and over, it does this.
Okay, that's dumb. And again, I like the outfit. I wonder why.
Which I'm sure the devs will tell us is a feature and not a glitch.
Sure, Jan.
Either way, though, this is good because it's around this time in the game where it also introduces the next enemy, with the Dilophosaurus, which is the one from Jurassic Park that killed Newman.
Yep.
I ended up wandering around pretty aimlessly for a fair bit here, though at least I was rewarded considering the area was full of items and extra mites.
What's this?
Eventually running into another survivor who Violet again apparently has a very good relationship with, but as we're the player...
But no one told us about it beforehand, so we don't know and we also don't care. Great.
Obviously don't, it makes it impossible to give a shit about their predicament, seeing as we've quite literally just met them.
No, don't waste your time.
And then this next cinematic just goes on and on with another flashback sequence that's supposed to fill in the blanks. Only in reality, it's making me feel like I've just started watching a TV series from the second season without having seen the first.
Yeah, that's bad. I would say that's kind of bad.
Do you believe them? Trust them? Why wouldn't I?
Oh yeah, and then at this point, the title card appears as well, meaning the last couple of hours...
Wait, why was she blonde in the past and now she has black hair? I mean, of course she dyed it, but why? What happened? I mean, wouldn't you create a character that looks similar? I mean, why are the characters looking different from the past and the present? That's not good design.
Hours have only been the prologue.
Wait, what?
Fuck! There's a nice change of pace at least, we do...
Fuck my hairy ass. This is so dumb. Why? That was only a prologue? Really? That's so dumb. Come on.
We find ourselves outside for a point, with this grand reveal of the planet supposed to be some kind of epic display of this gorgeous, lush alien world that we find ourselves in. But all I could think
Yeah, this is just...
that we find ourselves in.
This is... Oh, flying rocks, we have never seen this before. Avatar. And a bunch of animes and other video games. And also, this is just... Over there's just rocks. There's literally no life in here. Zero life. One long-ass tutorial, that is. Yes. And literally look at it. There's zero life here. No animals, nothing. This doesn't even look good. This does not... Not only is this not impressive, it's not impressive, it has zero life, there's no animals in there, nothing. And it doesn't even look good. Ooh, rocks. This is not like coming through a tunnel and seeing the Alps. You know, the Alps, the mountain range. That's impressive, but this is nothing. And yes, over there, I think is a planet. But who cares? This is not impressive. I've seen way better things and everything. This is literally nothing. This is a little nothing burger.
But all I could think about here was how that cinematic in the old Turok reboot from like 2009.
Yeah, this looks way better. Number one, you have distance. Number two, there's a village, a city, I don't know. There's a jungle down there. This looks interesting. This is not just rocks. This is interesting.
Mine was more impressive.
And look, animals, life, even better. Yeah, this is way, way better. Fidelity-wise, it's... I wouldn't even say it's worse. Because the Violet game is just a stock Unreal Engine look, in my opinion. I've seen that graphic style 100 times just last year. So, you can't impress me with that. Fucking Arc Raiders, same engine, looks way better. Even on my system. And I don't even play on Epic. I think not even on high. I don't remember.
Yeah, if I'm comparing things to that game, then you know how dire things really are. This whole area just feels like an asset library dumping ground. It's a mostly opened up space that's got all these different props that just feel entirely out of place. Like random nuclear cooling towers off in...
Yeah, this makes no sense. By the way, they aren't nuclear cooling towers. They are just cooling towers. Even coal power plants have those. By the way, again, the only reason someone would play the game for. And yes, that's a fantastic ass. Kind of reminds me of the dream I had last night.
Distance. But I will say that it is nice to actually be able to evade the enemies for once and not feel like I'm trapped in a tin can. It all comes to an end though as we arrive at the preservation lab where Jason's trapped. Not wasting any time and heading into the Raptor exhibit because, yeah, that sounds promising. And oh, look at that, it's AI art all over the walls. That's nice. Also finding the third weapon, the assault rifle, which is about as damaging as spraying someone in the face with wet farts. And even after upgrading it in the armory, still about as effective as harsh language.
Great. Awesome. Perfect. So not even the gunplay is good. Yeah.
There's a cinematic here where Violet does something, followed by the closest thing we've had to a puzzle yet, redirecting the flow of plasma to power up a nearby bit of machinery. And for a bit here too, I also felt like I was starting to get the hang of the combat. Only, okay, maybe I wasn't. Because yeah, like even after maxing out the damage for my available weapons, they still seem to do very little actual damage to the enemies. There was a bit after this that I did think was pretty atmospheric, walking around some kind of meat packing room with all these slabs of dead animals hanging from hooks and the ground thick with fog.
I can agree, this looks fine. This looks interesting. You know, you get a wondering of what's coming here. I would guess the same as usual.
It was all immediately ruined when I came across an enemy that killed me in about 2 seconds.
Awesome.
There was a pretty decent sequence after this too, where you got to crawl through this narrow space, avoiding jets of fire by rolling to the left or the right. So every now and then you do see these little nuggets of...
Yeah, I can see that this is not bad. Yeah.
potential in what's otherwise a septic tank full of floating turds.
Clever girl.
This was also when I found the Badonkadonk outfit for Violet, which makes her look like Daisy Duke. And yes, another element of the game which I'm sure is...
Yes, this looks good. But unlocking it via playing through the game and then being able to use it right then, you know, it's taking you out. It definitely does. But it looks good. Yes.
He's doing a great job at preserving the art. Finally, after all of this, we get to the incubator area and we free Jason, but it seems like this guy's already bought the farm, forcing Violet to give him the most awkward-looking CPR I've ever seen, which amazingly seems to work, because it brings the guy back from the brink.
Hey, a little rough on the chest compression.
Yeah, if you do CPR, you don't go do this. You stay. What the fuck was that?
There.
Before then showing us yet another lengthy cinematic with a bunch of flashbacks, which I will admit does at least try to establish the relationship these two had before the events in the game, as well as establishing that whoever does the facial animations in this game needs to have their job title reassessed.
I thought it may be good if she knew how. No, this is beyond unacceptable.
After this, we're then sealed off from Jason and attacked by what looks like the early design for the Predator. You know that version they showed off in all the BTS stuff for the movie back when it was played by Jean-Claude Van Damme? Yeah, that thing. Also serving as the first proper boss fight for the game, which is actually surprisingly easy. I mean, given how lethal the basic dinosaurs were, you'd think that this thing would tear you limb from limb. Only it's pretty easy to just run around the area and avoid its attacks, shooting back here and there. The devs then see...
That's so dumb. And they copied Alien 3. Of course they would do something like that. Actually copying the third worst Alien movie.
Sees the opportunity to rip off that one scene from Alien 3 before it then inexplicably runs off and leaves us alone. Also separating Violet and Jason and...
Why? It makes literally no sense. Then why would it try to fight us if it doesn't want to kill us? Why? It literally makes no fucking sense. Zero.
Forcing us to go back outside again to another opened up area. And this could have been like a really cool way to incorporate...
Man, I have to give it to the developers. They know how to set the ass into scene. Because the ass looks really good. The ass looks fantastic. Best part of the entire game.
Incorporate some kind of night and day cycle on the planet. Seeing as that area before was set during the day, this bit could have been set at night or something. Again, like remember how back in RE4, for instance, how every time you went indoors for a bit, you...
Look how good this looks. And runs. By the way, it runs way better. And it looks better. It has way more style to it. It looks way more coherent.
Come back outside again and the weather would be completely different. You know, simple shit.
Yeah.
But instead, it's just the same as it was before, with nothing really changed. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Because the developers didn't really care.
shooting more of the same couple of dinosaurs over and over, and moving through this montage of static Unreal Engine assets. You'd think as well that they might put a save point or an item box out here, considering this area goes on for well over 15 minutes. But nah,
What?
man, you just mindlessly run from point A to B, having to lug all this crap the entire way.
50 minutes of walking and there's no ammunition. There's nothing there, just enemies. Okay. Yeah, this is dumb.
Finally, we make it to the comm facility, where the goal is to get the place up and running so they can call in for help. Where we soon run into Jason and have to watch another cinematic, where
Oh,
I
God.
just find myself wondering, yet again, who these people are and what they're even doing. Like, who is this lady? Why is she staunching in the room? What's happening?
It's rude to interrupt.
What? It's rude to interrupt.
Interrupt what? If that was the only thing that was going on here, then what was she interrupting? He wasn't even doing anything. There's nothing on the screen here, by the way. You see the screen is empty, so he wasn't even doing anything. Unless he was talking to him, but I don't know. The dude is staring at a blank laptop. Yes, exactly. It makes zero sense. Zero.
Why is everyone standing around? Why are they not saying anything? What is...
Because the people that wrote the script were unable to come up with any dialogue. Because the game has actually no real story. And the characters are just... They aren't characters, they are just puppets that are there. You know, a good writer gives its character... If he creates a character, he creates an entire life for the character. Childhood, how they grew up, friends, lovers, all shit like that. That doesn't exist here.
is going on?
Who else knows?
Who else knows what?
No, what exactly?
Exactly, what?
Yeah, good question.
That came from Earth.
What came from Earth? What is with this shot? What's with this close-up?
Yeah, what is this?
What is going on?
Look at that face.
What? He's suddenly grown 2 feet? Are they going to make out now? And it just goes on like this
Looks
too,
like
with
it,
this
right?
cutscene going on for over 8 minutes. Or to just finally get back to the present time and tell us what we need to do in about 5 seconds, which is to go off and align some satellites.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Oh yeah, and I also
Yeah.
got stuck at this next puzzle for ages. It's this bit where you got to spin these 3 fuses around and get them in the right order, but I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I tried different combinations, I tried checking nearby journals, and nothing seemed to hint at what had to be done. So I gave up and I looked up a long play on YouTube to check out the solution, and you know what you're supposed to do here? Well, remember that blacklight that I used hours ago to get to that laser grid? Well, turns out if I have this thing equipped and look at this one spot in the room, it shows me the solution.
Oh, piss off!
Yeah, this is retarded. This is so retarded. This is a design that I would expect from a game from the 90s or early 2000s that really wants to kick you in the balls.
And it's just like, how the fuck was I supposed to know that? After that, I encountered another raptor, and then this happened.
What?
And it goes on like this.
Now I'm in some kind of large
Makes no
area
sense.
filled with shipping containers, and oh look, another tight spot to squeeze through. Because isn't that what modern games do? Plus I
Yeah.
come across some poor bloke's corpse, and Violet somehow immediately knows she has to carve the guy's eyeball out to use it a retinal scanner, despite me.
How? How would she? What is going on? This is so dumb. It's almost like these things aren't in the right order, you know? It's almost like they messed up the order of the things. Which most likely is what happened. Absolutely.
Not even having found a retinal scanner yet. There's a weird puzzle after this too. You've got to divert power to this main door, but I just kept flipping nearby switches over and over until the whole thing worked. Where I soon found a submachine gun laying on the ground afterwards, which amazingly is even worse than the assault rifle.
Oh
The
my
next bit
god.
did seem kind of cool, where you're attacked by a T-Rex in the first of its many appearances, having to close all these shutters before it gets through the glass and can eat you, which I almost beat the first time. Almost.
Oh.
There's another
That was
chase
gruesome.
sequence after this, which is just... yeah.
Yeah, this is dumb.
And then I'm outside and have to align these 3 satellites, which is a super tedious process of running back and forth between 2 terminals for all 3. One
Why?
which rotates the satellite left and right, and the other one which moves it up and down. Because for some reason, the idiot who designed these things didn't think to put both options on the same workstation. This is followed by another hilarious cinema.
An actual good design would be you just go to one terminal for each of them. You just click it and then it aligns itself. That would have been fine, because that actually aligning them is not the gameplay loop. But you know, you needed to have a mini game.
Where Violet's ambushed by like half a dozen raptors, showing off the kind of facial expression that could be best described as mild concern, before she leaps over the edge and into this raging torrent of water in a sequence which is just flat out ripping off the Tomb Raider reboot.
Yes, but that's not even my problem. My problem is that this wasn't there.
That could be best described as mild
Look at
concern,
it.
before she leaps over the edge and into this
It's not there.
raging torrent of water in a sequence which is just flat out ripping off the Tomb Raider reboot. Yeah, can I also highlight how the water is completely static when she jumps in, only for it to
Yeah.
suddenly change and she's
I didn't want to say it because I thought, yeah, no one really cares, but yeah.
now in this fast-moving current. Like, what the fuck is going on? Not that it matters, because of course it's not anywhere near as exciting or harrowing, because unlike it was in that game, where you could suffer from these horrendous deaths if you failed, here if you hit any of the objects, it just cuts to black. Oh yeah.
That's dumb. Literally, it's just dumb.
Yeah, and speaking of cutting to black, once you clear this section, it then hard cuts to another flashback where Violet and a random woman we've never seen before are now having a conversation.
Wait, I thought the blonde one was Violet. The young Violet was blonde? She wasn't? What's going... How is this game confusing me while watching a YouTube video about the game? This makes no sense. By the way, nice top.
About childbirth. Oh
What?
no, okay, I've lost it. I'm cracking. Childbirth?
Why don't we ever see the babies?
And yeah, keep this in the back of your mind because it's about to come back real soon.
Why?
They are all clones? I don't know. They are growing up to be adults and in a pot? I don't know. Maybe. Who cares? Well, the writers and the people that are invested in the story, aka Violet's ass.
Wouldn't I?
After this, we find ourselves in
Literally looks like Lara Croft here. Just a different hair color and style.
another generic outdoor area in the middle of the day, which looks sparse and barren before reaching the bioengineering lab. And if survival horror games have taught me anything, it's that once you reach a futuristic looking lab area, you're near the end. Sadly, that's not the case.
Oh, shit.
I do find another weapon here though, with the shock rifle, not to be confused.
Wait, does her ass jiggle when she runs? Her ass is literally the best thing about this game. What is this shit? Sorry. Jesus.
With the shocker, which is actually a half decent gun and does a whole lot of damage when it's fully upgraded. Also making it the third automatic weapon we've been given in a row. How creative. They also find a new outfit for Violet here as well, the Wild Thing. Okay. Also, I guess we find the bone ship from Alien with this weird looking room with all these eggs. There is at
They literally copied every famous franchise, didn't they? Jesus.
There's another pretty cool little sequence here where you got to move this lift around multiple levels and rotate it to access different floors, which feels weirdly complex for this kind of game. Before eventually I enter some kind of room that looks like it's powering the entire planet, and I'm suddenly ambushed by that returning T-Rex, which pops out of the ceiling periodically like a whack-a-mole, while I guess baby T-Rex...
What? How would he even be able to do that? It's a giant... Stop thinking.
...attack me on the ground. And then after seeing more AI art in the next room, followed by an ensuing cinematic that outright reveals it, it all becomes clear what's been going on here.
My guess? Human dinosaur hybrids.
Why don't we ever see this?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Right, so spoiler alert, obviously skip ahead to this bit if you don't want this ruined, but
No one cares.
basically as I understand what's going on here is that Violet has some kind of rare genetic code, which means she's one of the few humans that can carry dinosaur DNA. And so they've been impregnating
Of course.
her with dinosaurs to propagate the species.
Come again.
The only thing is, she can only give birth so many times, so they've had to repeatedly clone her to keep this process going.
Woman cannot reproduce infinitely, so this was expected, but unfortunate.
Meaning the Violet we play as is God knows which one in a long line of women that came before her. As in, this woman has been used to breed dinosaurs over and over. And if this whole thing ain't the writer's poorly disguised fetish, then bro, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Oh my god. I bet it's a woman. God Violet. Writer. Code Violet on IMDb. Decline. Writer Mika Jones. Mika Jones is a known Code Violet and Quantum Error. Is it a woman? I mean, Mika Jones. It's a woman. It's a woman. Now, what's Quantum Error? Let's see. Take control of fire captain blah blah blah. He was trapped in a burning high-tech facility while fighting off beings from the unknown. Oh, yeah, this sounds retarded. I'm not surprised. Yeah, this is written by a woman that has a fetish for this shit. Yeah, makes sense.
Violet's eggs were fully compatible with the DNA and samples being used from the Velociraptors. A perfect match.
Oh my god!
All I can say is, who comes up with this shit?
But we have to prevent humanity from going extinct.
Not like this. Not like this.
Yes, not like this. Please, stop your fetish.
And I can see people saying how it's no different to how the creatures work in the Resident Evil games, like how Umbrella would combine human DNA with insects or other gross things to make this.
They are just combined in the lab. They aren't. There are no women being pregnant with these things, not giving birth to them.
Disgusting bioweapons. But the key difference there is bioweapons. They were trying to make weapons.
That too, yes.
So the idea of a giant humanoid cockroach or a praying mantis or whatever it was that was perpetually hostile to everything served a purpose. Either way, Violet's whole reaction to finding out all of this could best be described as mild bewilderment.
Am I... me?
You are not you.
That's so retarded. Of course you are you. You're just a clone, but that's dumb.
You and me.
Before her friend from that recent flashback shows up out of nowhere with Jason, saying she somehow hid from the dinosaurs all of this time by hiding in a food pantry.
That's a lie. I bet that's a lie. She's probably stabbing her on the back, something like that.
Hiding in a food pantry for almost 2 days now.
Because a room full of food is a brilliant place to hide from predators. Predators famously known for having a fantastic sense of smell and also requiring food for sustenance.
Of course. People are smart.
Stupid bitch.
That'd be like saying that I hid from Winnie the Pooh by hiding in a giant honey pot. Again, who the hell comes up with this shit?
I don't really know.
Everyone.
Anyway, with all three of these guys together, they can get to the Starbridge to escape, so off we go, clearing out more dinosaurs along the way. With a pretty intense encounter in these tight areas that feels like a bit of a last barrage before some kind of...
I like this outfit. For very obvious reasons.
Final encounter. Instead, though, we've only just reached the waste facility, the same place this game was developed. Now we're going through some kind of sewer area, dealing with giant crocos lurking in the water, before Violet goes back to defacing corpses, this time by chopping off the finger of some poor dead asshole, along with another sequence in a morgue taking items off dead bodies. Yeah, sounds familiar. I will admit, though, that there was another area in here that I did think was kind of cool, where you're moving through these flooded rooms, avoiding more crocs and going against this raging torrent of water, which if...
Yes, this is nice, yes. I can see what they're doing here, yeah, this is nice.
Nothing else was at least visually kind of impressive. Once I reach the surface, I even find the Magnum. Again, another classic staple of survival horror. But before I can use it, we're hopping in a Jeep and leaving the area, where as soon as I saw this perspective change, I instantly knew what...
Yeah, we all know what's coming here, right? The T-Rex chase from Jurassic Park 1.
What was going to happen.
Must go faster.
And sure enough, here it comes.
Again, you never give up.
Luckily, it does at least give us infinite ammo during all of this, even if Violet's body takes up like half the goddamn screen.
Yeah.
It's not over yet either, because even after the Jeep crashes, we have to fight this thing on foot, with Violet having what's possibly the lamest insult ever.
Come on, ugly!
But again, like the Jean-Claude Van Damme...
What the fuck was that? It's so dumb. So dumb.
Fight from earlier on, it's almost impossible to die here, because about all you need to do is run around and just not stand still, shooting this thing every now and then before repeating the process. Which kind of deflates the whole encounter just a little bit, you know what I mean? Like if you're not even remotely concerned about the giant dinosaur that's trying to kill you. Violet doesn't even have any kind of cool one-liner when she kills it either, she just turns around and shows it her finely toned ass.
Man, that ass. Literally, dead ass. Nice.
Also having a hilariously bad breakdown shortly after this, where she laments the death of her friend, where they couldn't even be bothered to animate in the impact shots from that pistol hitting the T-Rex.
You killed her!
That's so lame. Everything about this game is bad, with the exception of her ass. And the two exceptions of the gameplay that we, had earlier.
The game then fades to black, where we get another Da Vinci quote, and for a second I foolishly thought the whole thing was over. But no, it's still going. And now we're at the transportation station, which, others would just call a train station, looking for more survivors.
No, this can't be real.
Running into that lady from...
Why not? Why not? After all we have seen, why can't it be real? The dialogue really makes no sense.
From the earlier flashback, who's amazingly still alive, and manages to be the first character I've ever seen in a video game to somehow overact with their facial expressions.
Said didn't need them anymore. All he needed was...
She has Asmongold's eyebrow game going on.
Plus, she also admits that she's the one who let the dinosaurs free, so yeah, thanks for that, lady.
And why?
Let out the dinosaurs.
Stupid bitch.
After this, we're now on a train that looks like it was built during the Industrial Revolution and attacked by, you guessed it, more dinosaurs. And at this point, I've had it with these motherfucking dinosaurs on this motherfucking train. Where at first, my guns didn't even work properly and I had to let myself get killed. Even when my guns did work though, this area was really challenging, being a literal gauntlet of just never-ending enemies. Also, I thought this was supposed to be one train, but apparently it's 3 trains running side by side. And also a train that appears to be near endless because goddamn son, this just goes on and on.
So the level design here is bad too. Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed that? Chat, who could have guessed?
Finally though, it mercifully comes to an end where Violet has another super...
This skin reminds me of Loki in Marvel Rivals, or Loki in general in the MCU. Color and design wise. Just saying.
Weird vision where this happens.
Wait, she has a vision? Why? What does this have to do with anything?
Okay. And then as she wakes up, she turns into the goddamn Doomslayer, activating some kind of rage mode as dinosaurs spawn in, but she's able to kill them in seconds with this newfound power.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Then finally we're at the so-called Star Bridge, which for some reason is set inside a giant mansion.
To be fair, again, nice ass. But, and also to be fair, the mansion looks good. It's a Gothic style mansion, looks good. Now, I don't know about the rest here. Though I had kind of an idea for a game world like that of planets that are connected to each other by either stone or giant bone structures. This is what this reminds me of.
And I won't spoil the ending, but I will say that it's pretty piss-weak stuff, and that also the game finds yet another way to work in a Da Vinci quote. All topped off with a quick epilogue sequence showing Violet about to lay the smackdown on a group of raptors before it cuts to the credits.
Why?
You unlock a new game plus mode after this and then an extreme difficulty, but I can't imagine why anyone would bother. I mean, I'd rather shit in my hands and then clap. By this point, you're probably thinking...
Again, nice outfit.
...that I didn't need to spend 30 minutes talking about all of this stuff to begin with, but weirdly, the response I've seen online has been mostly positive, and there's a culture around this game that's just truly odd. There was a weird thing pre-launch there as well, where they only seem to provide code to smaller content creators and safer creators, that being the kind of people who don't really make critical videos and make neutral content like long plays, which we can see in the case of someone like the Rad Brad or Champs Network. On Twitter as well, I've also noticed accounts with very little followers that say they're reviewers also coming out and praising the game. But then I've not seen a single big or even smaller YouTuber or streamer coming out and saying the same thing. I mean, even DSP of all people rage quit this game.
What the fuck just happened? What just happened? What?
On their official Twitter page as well, the devs seem to pretty much retweet every positive thing they can find about the game from every single account, mostly small ones. And like, look, that's not illegal and
I wonder if they paid those guys. And, you know, paying small creators is way cheaper than paying the big ones.
They're totally allowed to do that, but it does seem like a pretty obvious attempt there to cover up how shoddy the game actually is, along with otherwise burying their head in the sand and overlooking any actual criticism from the safety of their self-made echo chamber. And I think at the end of all of this, it would have been fine if it wasn't as expensive as it is. Like I said earlier, I've played quite a lot of these cheaply made survival horror titles, and I can tell you that the main factor that differs between Code Violet and the rest of them pretty much comes down to the price.
Yeah. Oh my god. If this game is half decent, I would play it just for running around with a character like that. Because she's hot. Yes, that's the reason. Yes. Yes. Like, oh, just like my 16-year-old me that would play this game for that ass. Yes.
In fact, if this thing had been $15 or even $20, I probably wouldn't have even made this kind of video. But charging the price they did for it, along with releasing it on a platform that doesn't really offer refunds, I don't know, it just seems kind of scummy, man.
Am I real?
Now, the common argument I've been seeing...
Of course you are real, you exist. Being a clone and not being real are two different things. Idiot. Stupid writers trying to be smart.
From people defending it is that it's a game made by only 4 people, and while...
Okay, yeah, that explains a lot. That explains a lot.
That is an explanation, it's also not an excuse. I mean, the Hollow Knight games...
Yes. And yes.
Games, for instance, were also largely made by like 3 or 4 people, and something like Stardew Valley was made by 1 person, and look at how those games turned out. Other examples include Labyrinth of the Demon King or Total Chaos, both also indie games made by mostly solo developers, and both of which run rings around this thing and cost a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that argument really has validity when the indie genre is bursting at the seams with quality titles made by similarly sized teams. Overall, if you've been hanging out for that Dino Crisis successor, well, this ain't it. And in fact, if you're just after a decent survival horror game, this ain't it either.
Yeah.
If you're after a survival horror game where you get to dress someone up in different outfits and kill lots of monsters, well, go play The Killing Antidote instead. And hey, like...
Thanks for telling me the name. I have heard about this game before, but I completely forgot about it.
If you want to play a Dino Crisis style game, like, why not just go play Dino Crisis? I mean, that shit's on goodoldgames.com now, and from what I understand, pretty stable and easy to play. At this point, if you still do choose to spend your money on Code Violet, well, look, there's nothing wrong with that, and obviously I can't stop you. But at least I can know that I did my best to warn everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Good video. Really good video. Here's the link. Give it a like if you saw the great video. Fantastic. Yeah, best part about this game, Chick's ass. Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed that that's what it is? Now, what do we do? What do we do? We already did that. You can go. Right. We are doing this. Ark Raiders is a shooter for everyone. Normal person review. It's gonna be interesting. And yes, I have a lot of Ark Raiders videos that we are going to watch at some point. Not right now. Well, actually, right now. One of them. Maybe later another one. Because
Welcome to Alex Reviews Games Like a...
Because they give good views.
Normal person, where I do exactly what the title suggests. Today is a interesting day for me because I am reviewing a game that I never thought I'd be playing, but due to the powers that be, namely the developers, I have played this game more than once. Hold for sneeze. Yes, I am talking about
Why was that sneeze so cute? Stop it.
Arc Raiders. It is a it's actually not first person, it's a third person shooter, but it is a shooter no less, and these are not the types of games that I'm traditionally very good at, and I generally stay away from them because I suck so bad. But I'll get into why I think it's probably pretty dope for most people. I'm sure you've heard about Arc Raiders, and if you haven't, I don't know where you've been living under a rock. But before we get into my review, let me just explain what Arc Raiders is for the people who have blissfully been unaware. Arc Raiders is I'm not supposed to say that it is an extraction shooter. In fact, every time I've done a sponsored event with Arc Raiders, they've always purposely told me not to refer to it as an extraction shooter. So I'm going to tell you it's not an extraction shooter. I'm going to call it a shooter looter. The basics of Arc Raiders is that
so a looter shooter. Oh, normies.
There are these things called arcs, or I guess the entire hive mind is called arcs. Robots. It's very Matrix-like. These robots of the Ark, they've come down to Earth and they've decimated the planet's surface, and humans can no longer live there because if they go above ground, they get blasted into Kingdom Come. Great. Because people can no longer survive on the surface, they have forced to move underground, and they live underground, and people called raiders go above ground to the surface to scavenge old parts, things they can use to make society better underground. You are one of those raiders, and you're raiding the Ark. Arc Raiders, you get it. So with that in mind, here comes the loot and shoot piece. Every time you go above, either by yourself, with two people, whatever you want to do, you are going out there with the express purpose of finding good loot. You are opening old cars for loot, you're opening old crates, you're going in abandoned buildings, you're doing all of that. And where the fun comes in is that you're not really supposed to be out there fighting other players. Now, of course, any other game...
True. They implemented that because the game was boring without it. That's literally the reason.
It looks remotely like this. You're probably thinking I need to start shooting people, and I think that's where the confusion was coming in. And of course, it is fun to shoot people and take their loot. They probably have better loot than you, and you do have quests that require you to get specific loot. And sometimes the best way to get said specific loot is to kill somebody else who did the hard work for you. I understand, I get it. But the point isn't to kill other people. The point is to survive the robots that are constantly trying to tear you asunder, get the loot, and get the hell out. And so the game goes, cycle after cycle, place after place. It sounds simple, I promise you it's not. So, let's get into the review. How is this game possibly any fun? Yes, I know the premise of the game sounds incredibly simple, and I get that. It is simple, but sometimes simple is better. And this is one of those cases. This game is fun, I think, because it can be kind of relaxing. Whereas another game like, I don't know, Valorant or Overwatch...
I actually agree. Playing the game is literally relaxing. At least, unless you are a PvP player. If you play the game only for the PvP, it's very stressful. If you don't, it's actually not. It really isn't. Now, situations can get stressful, but it's not the entire time. Most of the time, I'm just flaunching around, looting, then I extract. That's it. And to me, that's fun. Now, to other players, it's not. It's even boring. But to me, this is fun.
See people raging, getting shot at, being blown up, all that kinds of stuff. Arc Raiders can actually be rather peaceful. If you're anything like me, and you really like loot, you like to scavenge, you'll find this game to be rather fun. I love, rooting through old piles of crap for really interesting pieces of crap that I can use to make better pieces of crap.
Yes.
In that instance, it's a lot like a survival game. And I really enjoy survival games because I like looting to live better. And that's really what this is. I also think it's fun because there are just so many kinds of people you can meet when you're out raiding, and I do mean genuine, like, other people playing the game. Now,
Yes.
this does lean into the whole, it's not really a myth, it's actually been all but confirmed. People who play on PC are more peaceful than the people who play on console. So when I was playing it, I turned crossplay off because I don't like being shot at the best of times. People on PC are very peaceful. In fact, a lot of the time you roll up on some other people who are like, hey man, how you doing? Whew. Just taking a break, cold out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to shimmy over here where the wind can't get you? Yeah. How's it going? You got yourself some cool loot? It's really fun to...
This review is from the time when Cold Snap was still going, very obviously. And yes, I literally went into buildings and there was already someone there. And we were both cold. Random encounters are really fun in this game. Two people run around the corner into each other. Both go, whoa, 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 whoa. And no one shoots. Everyone just leaves. Yeah, I love this game. I should play it more, but... yeah.
to witness like other people doing the same thing you're doing. It's almost like if you were all a bunch of like prospectors during the gold rush of California, except I feel like the prospectors were probably killing each other, so maybe that's not a good comparison. It's fun not because of the shooting, it's fun despite the shooting. You know, shooting's actually, I'm not gonna say it's a small part, you are still fighting robots. It's
all the time.
Pretty moderate part of the game, but that's not the whole point of the game, and I think that's really where it shines in its uniqueness, because it's not to say that there's not like 1,000 other games where you're, you know, running in, shooting stuff and leaving. Like that's like half the games on the market these days. But this game is unique because the point isn't to die. The point is to live, grab stuff, and skedaddle back home.
Yes.
How much time do you think I would be sinking into this were I to get into it? I bet you're asking me. Well, dear listener, it is a game you can pick up and play and put down just as easily, and in a time where we have to do 85 things just to stay afloat, let me tell you, I love a good game like that. Yes, there are games that I love because they grip me. I love being gripped by video games specifically. And
I know what you do. I know what you do. I understand her. I understand the humor. It's good.
There's a place for that, of course, you know. Other games where I just want to keep playing until I get through the entirety of the thing, I understand that entirely. This is not one of those games, and I like that. There are quests, you know, there are things you can do, but those quests stay. They're not like on a time limit. When you finish the quest is when the quest disappears. And that's great for me because I hate being rushed through things because of deadlines. Drives me up the damn wall, to be honest with you. This game is not like that. Yeah, quests to go find freaking acorns somewhere. Go find your acorns when you're not busy with work. Or on a Saturday when the kids are at their friend's house for a sleepover. It fits into your life really easily, and for that I'm just very grateful. I'm a busy bitch. So
same goes, by the way, for the trials. You can get the trials done and an actual high score in one day. If you know what you're doing, a couple of hours and you're done. Now, of course, if you're lucky too. I mean, there are other peoples after all. So, but yeah, it's possible. For example, last week I played, I think, 10 hours, and I made over 20,000 points for the trials. I think 21 and something. I should have risen 2 ranks. Worst case scenario, only 1. But that's still good. At the end of the season, I should still get cosmetics, which is what I'm doing it for. And because it's fun. It's giving me something to do. Except for the quests and the project. And yes, I'm doing the project again. Second time.
Knowing that I can just pick it up, play a couple of rounds, and then put it down and go back and not feel like I am being dragged away from my game, I'm gonna be honest with you, I prefer it that way. How does the game look? Now, one thing I do really want to take a moment to spotlight for this game is it's beautiful. And I don't mean that in like a, oh, the graphics are top tier and 120 frames per second. Again, I have an astigmatism, I don't f***ing know. I don't care. What I care about is that when I'm out there looting, being a little scavenger girly that I am, I can look up and around and be like, golly gee, this sure is a nice savannah I'm walking through.
Yes.
Ignore the giant brood mother robot off in the distance. It's
Yes.
not the point. The point is that whoever took the time to design these environments to look incredibly realistic, you did a damn good job.
Yes.
Like, I found
game
myself
is beautiful.
often in both of the times I was playing this game thinking, damn, this shit looks good. It feels like a hike.
Yes.
And this is the type of feeling I really haven't felt in a video game probably since Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. Those games felt like
World of Warcraft. And I mean, World of Warcraft when it came out. Man, I still remember how I felt looking at just the forests, the environment, and Teldrassil and the second night elf, the Dark Coast, that area. Man, I really liked those areas. It was so nice. They really caught me. I would say they were some of, because those were my first encounters. They stuck in my memory. And yeah, this is Arc Raiders kind of, at least kind of gives me the same vibe. It's definitely to me it is as much fun as Vanilla WoW was. And that says a lot, because I was completely addicted to Vanilla WoW. Now, am I addicted to Arc Raiders? No. I can completely just play on 2 days per week, and I'm completely fine with that. Because I get shit done in the game very easily. Because you can do stuff in the game very easily. It's not a problem at all. Unless you have no idea what you're doing. But even then, the learning curve is not steep, and it's an easy game. It's made for casuals, and that's good. That's why it's so successful.
I was genuinely going through real life and looking at different landscapes and things, and maybe it's because I'm a biologist. Biomes, they're dope. And they do a really good job of making you feel like, damn, I really am out here in the wilderness. That shit is f***ing beautiful. Is it worth the price? I think so. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that the devs did gift me the deluxe copy, so I never paid for it, but I think I would pay for it. I'm very tempted to buy this for some of my friends just to go lootin' shootin' with them. Like, my best friend would never play this type of game normally, but I'm very tempted to force her to do so because I know she'd have a ton of fun.
That's a good friend. Yeah, same. I completely don't regret paying $60 for this game, which is the deluxe edition, as a pre-order. I completely don't regret it. Well, I also played the server slam, so I knew what I was getting into. So yeah, I knew, and I completely don't regret it. That's how good the game is. I don't regret pre-ordering a deluxe edition, a digital deluxe edition of the game. How rare is that?
And to force her is to buy the game for her, and I don't think I'd have a problem paying for the game. Truly, I think you get a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying you need to go buy the deluxe edition if you prefer to be a little bit more conservative with your money and buy the standard edition. Totally fine. Gameplay does not change between the standard and the deluxe edition. You just get some extra like cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. We'll talk about glamour in a second, but take it or
By the way, I really like the Deluxe Edition cosmetics. I ran around with one of those, and yes, there are 2 sets, when I remember correctly, and I wore one of them almost the entire time. Almost the entire time. That's how good it was. I really liked that. I really did. I still do. I just don't wear it anymore because there's more. I got more, and I sometimes like to switch things up. But yeah, I really like the Deluxe Edition cosmetic. It's good.
Believe it. If you want to get standard, you're going to have the same fun experience as somebody who has the deluxe copy. I promise you that. But I think it's worth the price. You get a lot out of it. It's fun. And you can tell the devs put a lot of work into this game for the sake of it being fun. I always like to say I can tell when devs put in work to make the game profitable versus putting in the work to make the game worth a damn. This is the latter, not the former. And for that I say, pay for it. But as I always say, in this economy, save your money first. And yes, speaking of glamour, we all know that glamour is the end game of any game, and is it worth it in this game? I'm gonna be real with you, I'm gonna say yes for one purpose and one purpose only. It has nothing to do with the clothing and everything to do with the chicken! He's a lovely chicken. When you first move into the town underground, because they don't know you when you first start the game, they give you a room, and with the room comes a chicken. And the chicken can have cute little cosmetics. I have a leash for my chicken because Scrappy needs to be, you know, well taken care of, and you can even make the chicken black, and I think that's amazing. My friend Grayson named his chicken BBC, stands for Big Black Chicken. The point is that
I really love her humor. It's great. It's great. Yeah. So she literally has a BBC on a leash. This is great. Oh, she's good.
There's a lot of fun customizable things, and of course you can use real money to buy more in-game currency, but you can also do quests to get plenty of in-game currency, and the outfits you can choose, they look great. Like, some of them I would actually wear in real life, and that's the mark of good glamour. If I would actually try to recreate some of these outfits as a cosplayer, you know you've done well with your outfits. And the game's pretty new, so we'll have to see where they go with outfits in time, but for what they have right now, honestly, they look damn good. And it has nothing to do with survival for me and everything to do with looking good as hell while I'm rooting through a box and getting shot at. Now, what is the Arc Raiders community like? Again, this is a very new game, so in time we will see what the community shakes out to be.
When did it come out?
But
3 weeks ago? Yeah. Around the beginning of the year, yeah. It's not that long ago. The community is fine, it depends. You know, if you're out there shooting everyone, you will be surrounded by people that shoot everyone. I'm not, because I run away.
I would like to say, first and foremost, that the community sounds to be a little bit split depending on platform. Like I said earlier in this video, PC gamers tend to be a little bit more peaceful than the console gamers. I only ever play on PC, so I only know peace. The people in the PC atmosphere are very much chill. There's like immersion with the PC community, I feel. The new update that just came out where everything is frosty and wintry, you actually do take frostbite damage if you're out in the elements too long, which forces you to find buildings to kind of shelter up into thaw.
I love Cold Snap. While Cold Snap was going, I think 95% of all my raids I played in Cold Snap. Because it was so awesome, and it also reminded me of The Division 1, and I really liked the atmosphere of that game. So Cold Snap was feeling hope. Cold Snap was really, really awesome, and then especially in addition to the snowy weather that we had during that, it was snowing in game. It was snowing outside. Man, I really was cold during that time. It's funny. But yeah, Cold Snap was great.
out in every so often, and in doing that you tend to run into other players on the field.
Yeah.
And that's when you have those fun conversations. It always starts with, hey, don't shoot, I'm not gonna kill you, I'm just cold, you know. And then usually like, yeah man, me too. Over here in this corner is where the frostbite stops happening if you want to just cuddle up next to me. And then because it's awkward, you tend to have really fun conversations about, you know, what have you found? Oh yeah, man, you know, I'm just playing while my daughter's at school. Like you learn things about people that you might not have otherwise, and it's pretty.
And that is a really awesome thing that reminds me of Vanilla WoW. It was the same. You were running into people, you were communicating with them, you were playing with them, and Arc Raiders has the same vibe to me, which is amazing. It's just amazing. Old people that played Vanilla WoW might get me. Young people, most likely not.
Social in that aspect. It's not MMO level social, but it's pretty good for this type of game. Yeah, man, almost froze my nips off. You know, it's a great time talking to people. I cannot speak for the console players. I imagine it's absolute war over there. People get blasted for their loot is what I'm hearing. It sounds like a hellscape. If you've played on console, you let me know if I'm right. I'm pulling this out of my ass. I have nothing to stand on here, but it just sounds, compared to PC, like a fresh hellscape that I don't want to traverse. I'm not mad at a few bad actors here and there being like, nah, I just came to shoot you and take your loot and leave. Like, that keeps things fresh, but I do...
People that watch my stream, that when I play Arc Raiders, they know when I get killed, I become a toxic 12-year-old. That's really not good. That's also why I avoid PvP. I don't want to become a toxic 12-year-old. I'm way too old for that. I'm 33 years too old for that.
Like that we're all here for a common purpose, and that's to live against the robots and loot another day. I like that, and I hope we stay on that path with the community, at least on PC. All you hellions on console, stay your asses over there. Crossplay remains off for a reason. So my final verdict for Arc Raiders, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is truly, like, I don't play shooters like this, so I'm impressed that you've got me interested in playing casually when I'm not doing work. Like, for that, I have to give it like a solid 8, I think. Like, it's a fun game. I will say I can't go any higher. In fact, I'm gonna drop it to a 7.5. It's so early on in this game's life that I can't be too heavy on my rating just because I don't know where it's gonna go. They could flop this thing, or they could make it fly. And for that, I gotta give it some space to grow or to fall. So I'm gonna go to 7.5. It's great to look at. What they have right now is very fun, but as somebody with aggressive ADHD, even while medicated, I do get bored easily. So I hope to see in the future that they add some mechanics or alternative gameplay styles that allow things to still be kind of interesting without leaving too much of what made this game fun in the first place. And I think what makes it fun in the first place, yes, is the mechanics of the game, the looting, the shooting.
Yes.
But also just the sheer memeability of it all. And I don't mean that in just like I like the memes kind of way. I mean, people enjoy playing games where they want to show other people what happened while playing said game.
Yes.
And for that, you need to stay fresh. And I just hope that the developers know that, right? They don't need to listen to me. Who the hell?
You can do so much silly stuff in a game. It's really fun. It's really fun. Now, when I try to do some things like using I forgot how it's called. The rope thing that you can, move, so you can move to other areas. I'm really retarded with them. Really. I tried last week on stream. I tried to get to a location with weapon crates, and I used 2 of them, and none of them worked. I fell down and hurt myself. Yeah, so much for that.
This is like my 4th or 5th video, but like, I hope they keep that in their heart and they take it and they run with it. So 7.5, I'm having fun, and I hope whoever is playing is also having as much fun as I am, if not more. But that is my final verdict on Arc Raiders, at least for now. I might have to return to this in like 6 months' time. We'll see. If you've been playing Arc Raiders, let me know down in the comments what you like, what you don't like. I want to hear it all. The pros and the cons of Arc Raiders. That's what I want from you today. And also, I want you to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I am enjoying this series, and I'm also enjoying playing more games, and I want to know what other games you think I should play. I've got a running list going. You think I don't read your comments?
This was awesome.
But yes, pros and cons of Arc Raiders. Hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Okay? Okay. Bye!
She should play War Thunder. Oh no, she would hate that game. But if she's funny. I really like how funny she is. Man, that was enjoyable. I really liked it. Germany is 100% fucked. Terror attack leaves 45,000 people without electricity. I think I might not be able to watch that, or I get arrested. Reacting to one of your videos? Sure. Sure, let's... If you wanna cringe, then let's cringe. Post it on the Discord. The news one. I've no idea. Just send me the link. Or on Twitch, yes. I think you can. I think you can, yes. Should be possible. I think. So what else do we do? Is Marathon the next Arc Raiders? No. I don't think it will be as successful. And here we go. Can I... No, I can only... Okay, let's click it. And here we go. My mod's newest video. We are so nervous. Why? A story about idiotic moments and a hellish grind. Yeah, that's War Thunder in a nutshell.
Hi, so this is my first time recording a War Thunder gameplay video, but technically this is the second time since I gave up on the first one. My lineup consists of the TAM, Leopard 185, G-Part, KPZ-70, and finally the T-72 M1. Also, another thing to note is the fact that I'm grinding for the Bakelite Panzer 57. Since I want a full 9.3 lineup before
Give me a second. Maybe I can... No, it's already maxed out. Your microphone is not loud enough.
Get the Leopard 2A4. Without further ado, let's start this mess of a video.
The first match has no audio.
Decent map, I guess. Going insane.
What happened? Oh.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bye.
Typical War Thunder moment.
You're mine. Don't fight. What you mean that non-pen?
I don't think they thought that coming.
As expected. Oh.
Okay.
Of course.
Nice.
Oh.
There we go. Shocking.
That one was good.
Let's go.
This reminds me of the early YouTube times where watching World of Warcraft videos. Ah, the good old times.
Huh, I survived. How nice. I wonder how I survived.
Yeah, same. I also wonder how you survived.
If I just rushed for A, finally my intelligence has come. So,
Recorded at your grandma's house. Well, the game does run on a potato. So, yeah.
Wow, we really did turn the tables. Look, why don't you look over there at the guy? And he's dead.
Oh,
because
of course you turned the tables. The enemy is 2 people now.
Everyone here is greedy, just like me. Take that. Take that thing, big man.
Oh, I didn't see the blue name. Wovon I have hospitality? Yes. Yes.
I want to listen fun sometimes with people just like this guy. Ban. I think he's mad. Wait, I was faster than him. Nice. Oh, great. Just great. Hooray. No.
Good music choice.
That almost hit me. Critically. That's a hit. I'm dead. I trust that guy to cover this, cover that, to cover the aim. Wait, cover the fights.
Man, I'm getting the song stuck in my head. It's not good. It's not good.
No reason. He hears something from over there.
Aww.
I almost got a kill.
Yeah, almost. I know that feeling.
Got him.
Nice. I still remember how good things like that feel. It's in your genes. Hey. Hey. It's true though.
Of course, after he hit the smoke. He's dead. I'm not going out there. I'm not going out there for some random stranger. It's called stranger danger. There's a Vidar. I'm so dead.
Yeah, getting rid of the tree so you can see.
To obscure our vision even more. I'm such a good teammate sometimes. Oh shit. Get this guy.
I am so free! Go, guys!
You die. Just get him. Motherfucker. No,
Wait, is that an enemy? No.
Of course I have to do everything. Stupid son of a bitch. Did you not see the marks?
You're crashing out on a guy.
At least you killed at least 62, I guess. Yep. Got him. I'm so
nasty.
So skibidi good sometimes. Oh wait, our team failed? Nah bro, what the hell? We failed to take B and C? I spent my whole life fighting at A. What the hell?
Hey, at least best squad. Team to poo to get the B and C, yeah.
You brought wave. Oh come on! I forgot to research the backlight.
I know that feeling. Also a reason why I stopped playing. But mostly rage.
Golden Quarry. I know where I'm going.
I'm not a fan of this map.
Boy.
It's not bad, but I'm not a fan.
For some reason. Russian cruising.
You like C? Yeah, I can see why.
And he got artillery. Such painful death. Such odd death. Not looking on anything part.
Ooh.
Oh shit, oh bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, get this blankety time with this. Yay. Almost. I'm not gonna bet it.
Yeah, the usual.
Lack of teammates over there. Oh wait, no. Let's attack very forward.
Good shot.
Oh my god, where did that come
Good
from?
shot.
Oh.
Nice one.
So far.
Nice. And the new tank. Nice. Oh my god. That thing is actually good. It's really good. I died to it all the time.
Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Like and sub if you want to, and I'll see you later.
That was funny.
Nice match, bro. Let's go.
That was good. That was good. That's why you were happy when you got it? Yeah. That thing is really, really good. Really, really good. Give me a second. I have to... Okay. It's lost its HEVT. It turns you off, not gonna lie. It's fine. Let's watch this from Pint. Are MMOs really dying? Yes. And there's a reason for it. Because there are no new players coming playing MMOs. That's the whole reason, I think.
So MMOs are like easily one of my favorite kinds of games. Having a living, breathing world with all kinds of people just leads to so many unique interactions and personal stories. But lately there's been some very civilized discussion about MMOs being in a bit of a rough spot. So since I've clocked in like, I don't know, like a handful of hours across a few different MMOs, I figured why not sit down and try and take a more optimistic but educated look as to what's really going on here. In the early days of the internet, the MMORPG was basically the only game you ever needed to play. From social circles to self-expression to intense gameplay and relaxing gameplay and going freaky style. You never really had to leave. But over time, the internet developed. What was once a World of Warcraft guild chat became a Discord server. Nights that used to be spent raiding are now girls' night, where we play some friend swap, and sometimes one of the girly pups has to sit out because the game's full. The MMO genre was kind of stripped for parts like a used car, which has kind of left the genre in a bit of a weird spot. If you look at the graph, it's obviously been going down since like 2010.
World of Warcraft MMO search term. Final Fantasy 14. Guild Wars 2. Yeah. He was peak. WoW was actually peak. It was great. MMOs only reminds me of Pirate Software abandoning his teammates. Oh my god. Of course. But if you look at the graph, back to that, yes, MMOs are dying. Fundamentally, no one cares anymore. The novelty of MMOs is dead. Now, our creators, they actually want to have Speranza, the main hub, as a walkable town thingy. And they might actually get some of the old MMO stuff going. Because it's so successful to begin with, the game is just good. And then they layer that on top. It would be nice if that's actually coming true.
But does that really matter? My personal enjoyment from MMOs doesn't really follow the trends of this graph at all. I think at its core, there's one key thing that people are craving. And I think the solution lies in finding it. In finding what I call the feeling.
Yes.
But hold on a sec, folks. It's time for Pint to pay her rent. Holy chungus, it's War Thunder, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever.
Perfect after watching your War Thunder video. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
And entirely free on PC, consoles, and mobile. With an unmatched wealth of high-quality content, there's simply no better game suited for fans of military history. And with over 95 million players, I'm sure you'll be able to find a friend or two. Or you could shoot them with a gun. And probably my favorite feature is that War Thunder doesn't have basic health bars. Each vehicle is intricately modeled with components that are susceptible to damage from enemy fire.
Yes.
Speaking of vehicles, we got over 2,500 of them. I'm talking tanks, planes, helicopters, ships from 10 major nations with a huge range of time periods to choose from. So you can play as a biplane from the 1920s fighting a modern military fighter jet. And with graphics and sounds this immersive, you'll feel like you've actually been handed the keys to a powerful war machine without needing, a license and safety training. So do yourself a favor and join the fray that only War Thunder can offer. New and returning players who haven't played in the past 6 months can sign up with my links in the pinned comment and description. And you'll get multiple premium vehicles, 100k silver, and an exclusive vehicle customization. But don't dally, this offer is only available for a limited time for PC and console users. Ad over. What feeling, you ask? Let's cast our minds back a decade or two. You just got home from school and you head over to the family PC. It's Friday night, and ahead of you is a whole weekend of helping a 37-year-old woman process her divorce. You log on, and you're on the coast of Dark Shore, staring into an endless mass.
The second of the zones that I talked about earlier. Man, I really like the zone. Man, this is getting me nostalgic. It literally does.
Of trees, you're paralyzed on the shore, index finger quaking as it hovers over the W key. Today, you discover what lies within. That is the feeling I'm talking about, baby. The adventure, what the French call le unknown. And I know this goes against the popular understanding, but I don't think I enjoyed this just because I was a kid. My actual belief, and hopefully...
He was a kid. I was in my 20s. I loved it. I literally did. it was so good. Mmm, delicious. So delicious.
The point of this video is that that feeling is a lot more abundant than people would believe. So, to understand why, let's take a look at a time when that feeling was nowhere to be seen. In 2021, I was playing some frickin' World of Warcraft, and a tree caught my eye. A tree that I've seen countless times and thought nothing of. But today, it was pissing me off. I knew every sickening detail about this thing. Like, I could perfectly envision exactly how my character would slide across it if I jumped into it. I knew I could attack through it without breaking line of sight. I could even picture the way it looked from the inside.
Oh.
Just empty. Whatever value it once offered had long since been consumed. Now all that remained was this taunting effigy of textures and pixels built to resemble a tree. And that's when I first thought, I don't think I'll ever feel that feeling ever again.
Yeah.
I finished the movie.
I know that feeling very well. Very, very well. And it's sad when, you know, you realize that you're completely done with something. It doesn't give you the same satisfaction anymore as it did in the past. And that's World of Warcraft to me. It's just sad. They have completely ruined the game to me.
I ate the meal. I stroked my shit and shot hot ropes. Here I was, trying to gnaw at the plate for another crumb. I'd staked my whole self-worth on the esteem of my virtual character. Because after all, that's what I wanted, right? Back in Darkshore, to become stronger bit by bit, to become more knowledgeable. But it was clear now that somewhere along the way, the journey had ended without me noticing. And I was just sitting at the destination, wondering why the car had stopped.
Yeah. The thing is, back here, you were an adventurer. But here, you are the hero that saved the world. AKA every other player. AKA hundreds of thousands of people. And yeah, that's why. They give you a special title, but they give it to everyone, so it's not special anymore. It's worthless. Being the hero in World of Warcraft is worthless, because every player is a hero. It's boring.
Ah, shucks. Well, maybe it could all still turn around. I heard the new expansion's coming out next week, and it might be good.
Wait, from when is this video? 6 days ago. Oh god. Yeah, I was scared for a moment. Shadowlands. Ugh, disgusting.
Fucking shit, said the fuck you guy.
And so during Shadowlands, I and many other players walked away from World of Warcraft. Yeah. And as a result, many wayward souls were cast adrift with nowhere to call home. This was a time of discord, anger, and strife. Because as we all know, MMO players do not express their discontent quietly. And bereft of hope, people were searching for anything to fill the void in their hearts. But amidst the chaos just up ahead was an emerging competitor. And with nothing left to lose, I figured, why not finally give a new fantasy a try? And so that's when I began playing Minecraft for like 2 weeks, and then I started playing Final Fantasy 14. By all accounts, I thought I'd fucking hate this game. There were so many teensy little things that rubbed me the wrong way. Cause in my fantasy game, the weird little dead eyes on these fucking toddlers? Like, what? Am I gonna play a fucking toddler? That's stupid. And as a stereotypical Gen Z queen who only knows how to eat hot chip and lie, you're asking me to read? Like how people used to do with the Bible? But much to my surprise, these things grew on me. The story was good enough to where I didn't mind reading. Sure, this thing looked weird, but had I considered the funny? I was charmed by things I wasn't expecting. Even though I still fucking hate the cars. I met new people here. I found new friends. And as we played together day after day, I realized that feeling World of Warcraft had offered me in the past, it was here too. To be felt again. This is it.
Is it baby versus baby game? Not really.
I thought, I finally found the right MMO this time. And it's gonna stay this way forever.
It's
But
not.
what many of my trillion billion adoring fans didn't know about this period of time is that my life was pretty sad chungus. A little something had forced us all indoors, and little did I know I'd just entered a pretty shit living situation. I was living in a city hours away from anyone I knew. I'd developed a
That's bad. That's really bad.
fear of leaving my apartment, and
That's even
as a
worse.
result, I did not meaningfully interact with a single human being for over a year.
That's horrible. That's literally prison.
It was a pretty dark time, but as bad as it got, here inside my little computer...
By the way, while the virus was going on, and we were all on lockdown, I've never seen so many people outside. Literally going for walks, hikes, riding the bicycles, going for jogs. I've never seen so many people outside. It's hilarious.
There was some light. I could talk to friends. I could contribute to the world with my videos. And every day enamored with that unforgettable story and all of its iconic moments.
It's over, Endbingers! This is your final fantasy!
I just wanted to play on the playground.
Oh my god! This game is so fucking peak! Eventually, though, I was able to move. My mum came and drove me home to
You said the title Final
nicer
Fantasy, yeah.
apartment, somewhere I could see trees again. After I finished the main story, I did something many MMO players dare not do. I went outside. I attended a symphony of Final Fantasy's greatest songs. Sat in the audience of a room full of people equally as passionate as I. And as I listened to Amanda motherfucking Aiken sing with her enchanting soprano tones, I shed a tear. It felt like the credits were rolling. That both the story I'd engrossed myself in and my personal journey against being fucking agoraphobic, this was the bookend. Out. And so I continued to play. To enjoy and savor the experience bit by bit until
That day. 8,300 hours. Wow. The fuck? Since 2001? Jesus Christ.
look at me.
Damn addiction, yes.
I have played 1,000 hours. I've caught up on the story. I've done all the raids I wanted to do. I've made all the glamours for all my jobs. I've played new jobs. And yes, I've even welcomed new players to pick up the game and give it a try. Now I sit here watching the game I love slip through my fingers the same way it did before. How do I stem the tide of this dying light? Is this all that these games are fated to be? How do I make MMOs fun again? And there I was,
You?
on
Why
the very
you?
cusp of despair, until I saw him.
You should really take a break and come back to it later. Maybe if you took a break, you'd have more fun.
Yes.
Such ageless wisdom contained within a JPEG. His oh-so-friendly smile pulling me from the dark. Maybe all along, what mattered wasn't the state of MMOs, or whether to quit, or the lost joy of youth. Perhaps it's nothing more than our turbulent minds trying to make complexity out of a simple question. The question was never, are MMOs dying? The real question to ask is, are you having fun?
Yes. That's the question. Are you having fun? That's why I play Arc Raiders and not World of Warcraft. It's that simple. If you don't have fun with a game, stop it. That's also why I stopped War Thunder. That's why you play War Thunder. See? And that's why I don't. Because I didn't have fun anymore. If I was more frustrated than having fun playing War Thunder, so I stopped. We are opposites. Not really. I would still play the game if the fun would outweigh the frustration for me.
About 12 months ago, I was getting pretty fed up with the amount of slop I was consuming on a daily basis, so I decided to make the active, conscious choice to just play more games, because we've reached the point where my attention span is so fried that watching a full movie makes me feel like a Greek scholar. Now, don't get me wrong, not every new game I played was a positive, transcendent experience, but I'd noticed that when I really set aside time to just play, and I'm talking Sandpit and Barbie dolls here, I found that if I was willing to look for it, I could find that feeling again and again and again and again. And maybe it was harder to find things that really spoke to me in the way that...
That feeling is the feeling of wonder, of growth, discovering new things. That's why games you're playing for a long time getting stale, because there's nothing new. You already know everything about the game. And even if something new comes out, it's just on top of the things you already know. There's nothing actually unique about it. For the most part.
Final Fantasy XIV story did, but something's got pretty close. There's an infinite amount of people out there trying to make something great. They've been doing it long before I was born, and they'll keep doing it 14 billion years into the future. There's always gonna be a world of outer fantasy for you to experience. And then one day, I logged back into World of Warcraft, and I was stood in front of that tree. It wasn't malevolent, it was just part of the Elwyn Forest. And I had some kobolds to go kill. And then the same thing happened with Final Fantasy. Recently, I've been having some of the most fun I've ever had. But what I've learned is that you can't force it. You either have to go away and hope it returns to you naturally, or maybe you have to accept that sometimes things change.
Yes.
I don't think MMOs are dying, but I do think that, like many of us, they've changed with the times.
Yes.
They aren't designed
absolutely, 100%.
to be forever games anymore. You're meant to play them seasonally. They're designed to be friend slop. And I know that's not to everyone's tastes, but I'm actually pretty okay with it. I like the variety. I like going away for a few months and then returning home to a central place that I know. Because no matter what you do, one day the servers are going to shut down, and all that's going to matter is how much fun you had. Inevitably, I'll probably become disillusioned with the game again, but I just hope that next time I don't miss the forest for the trees. It's a new year, so go play some games, go make some things, and remember, the only thing you should want is to play on the playground.
This is good.
Hello, my little kittens. Thanks again to War Thunder. You can use my links below to get your rewards, including 100k silver, some premium vehicles, and an exclusive vehicle customization. It's free on PC, consoles, and mobile, so why not give it a try? Anyway, yay, I love Patreons! I'm trying to be less fully dependent on sponsors, so your guys' help really does go a long way. It allows me to keep making videos full time, and I'm still working on the voice. Anyway, more Final Fantasy content soon.
Voice? What voice? Stop.
Terrible news for
What's going on here? Oh my god, I fucked YouTube up. Oh god, how this is happening? That was dumb. What if the fun was the pain we made along the way? War fun? Yeah, no. YouTube thinks it's stinky. The opinion of YouTube doesn't matter, because YouTube is shit. Oh Oh, right, this one. Half-Life 1 is better than modern AAA shooters. Number one, yes, but the letters and Xen. Horrible, horrible, horrible. We are watching that video after I took a piss. So I leave you now with a little bit of music. I'm back. My share is broken for years now. I really have to replace that thing, but I don't know. I don't wanna buy some cheap shit that breaks within a year. So I just don't. I just don't. By the way, Ulo, how's my mic? I worked on a microphone yesterday and I can see it dipping into the red, but do I get too loud sometimes? That's basically the question I'm asking. You play War Thunder? Okay. Okay. Then play War Thunder. You hear properly? Okay. Good. That's fine. Then now, off to the next video. Half-Life 1 is better than modern AAA shooters. Which, to be very fair here. Repeat what? Oh, I asked if my audio, my microphone is fine, or if I peek into a area where it's very loud. That's literally just the only thing I want to know. If I'm peaking occasionally. Because I am louder than I was before I lost everything. Thank you, Windows 10. Piece of shit. Then it's okay now. What do you mean now? You go and charge B just for me. Okay, do that. Good luck with that. Okay, so next video. Half-Life 1 is better than modern AAA games. Yes. And it's not even hard because modern AAA games are made by retards. The people that made this game were smart. That's why it's good. With two exceptions. The Letters and Xen. Xen is bad because it was rushed. That's the sole reason. I know it was rushed and that's why it's bad. But the Letters also, the Letters are just bad. I literally, my last playthrough of Half-Life 1, I died so much because of the Letters. It's horrible. You almost died? Don't.
So, no Half-Life 3, eh? Maybe the real Half-Life 3 was the Half-Life 1 we made along the way. Whoa, hey, whoa.
Yeah. That one was bad.
We join you now with breaking news. Unknown and mid YouTuber Bag was accused of making bad jokes, a ridiculous clickbait title, and thumbnail. He's been found guilty on all counts and has been sentenced to a lifetime of hate in the comments section down below. Next up, the weather.
Okay guys, wait. Before you press enter on that hate comment, I can explain. I played Half-Life 1 for the first time recently. Yes, the first time because...
Wow.
I was 3 years old when the game originally came out. Now, don't get me
I was 16.
wrong. I wasn't too young or dumb to play the game or understand it. I was a smart 3-year-old. Hence why I was playing Metal Gear Solid 1 and coming to terms with the Shadow Moses conspiracy and the fact that I'd fallen in love with about 4 pixels that go by the name of Meryl. But I don't regret that one bit.
Same. No, not the character, but, you know, generally same.
Although I am slightly ashamed about the Meryl part. When I played Half-Life 1 at the ripe old age of 3-0 this time, I realized that I was having so much fun. So I thought to myself, when was the last time I genuinely had this much fun with a single player game's gunplay, story, environment, enemies? Now look, I know what you're thinking. Well done, asshole. You realized that a good game was good. But whilst I review the game today, I'm genuinely convinced that Half-Life 1 betters most AAA shooters in almost every department. And I know...
Yes, because it was made by people that are smart. That's literally all that there is to it.
There will be counter-arguments, like graphics, for example. But is it really so outlandish to say that I prefer this to this? I don't necessarily think graphics or realism is that important in some games, but what's important is the vibe and immersion that it achieves. Sometimes it's more fun being in less realistic environments. Like, if I wanted realism, I would just go outside, but fuck that. Half-Life 1 came out in 1998 from an, at the time, unknown developer called Valve Software.
If you're watching this video, the chances are you probably know much more about the context around Half-Life 1 than I do. So I'm not here to forcibly patronize you if that's the case. But you know, some people like to be warmed up a little before we really get into the video, so this part's for them. But if you don't like it, you can go down to the chapter markers down here. Just be careful.
We watch all of it, all 35 minutes. And yes, graphics is not all. I rather play Half-Life 1 until I go to Zen and then I stop, than the last Assassin's Creed. I never played that. I have zero interest in playing it. It's just hot. It's disgusting. Fuck Ubisoft. And the same goes for basically, what was the last ego shooter that I played that was new? Did I try out? I think I tried out Counter-Strike 2 about the time when it came out, and I didn't like it because of basically only because of the menu and how you would join servers and stuff like that. Changing that from what it was in Counter-Strike and CSGO, horrible change. Shouldn't have done that. And since then, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. No ego shooter that came out since then made me want to play it. At least none that I can remember. Oh, wait. Oh, no, none. The only others that I played were retro shooters. Or literally just games that came out in the 90s. Literally. And I mean literally. That came out in the 90s. Which reminds me, I would like to play the original Prey on stream. Because I can guarantee you, no one played that game in the past 15 years on a stream. But yeah, no modern game has me go, oh yeah, ego shooter, had me go, yeah, I want to play this, because none of them are good, in my opinion. I have zero interest in them. They are also bleak, and they seem to be boring. On top of them being basically all just multiplayer games. I want to play things that are not multiplayer too, you know, and there's almost nothing there, which is a problem. Because it's all the same. It's all the same stuff.
Careful when you're down there, because there's a subscribe and a like button, so you don't want to hit. Oh, what's that? You subscribed? What's that? Oh, you liked it as well? What's that? You're writing a comment? Thank you very much.
Valve Software was a then new studio founded by former Microsoft veterans Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington. Despite being their debut title, Valve aimed to redefine the first-person shooter by combining narrative, game world, set pieces, gunplay, and enemy AI-driven encounters.
And they did.
Not that AI. This AI. They wanted to combine all of that into a seamless experience, and this approach immediately distinguished it from its contemporaries. The game was published by Sierra Studios and entered a market dominated by fast-paced arena shooters, yet Half-Life's reception was still sexy. Half-Life became one of the most critically acclaimed PC games of 1998, being nominated for and winning dozens of awards in a year full of absolute bangers, and it became a benchmark for storytelling and immersion in FPS design. Valve themselves would go on to build the Gold Source and eventually Source engines from this foundation, engines that powered games like Half-Life 2. And this was the start of Valve's mod-driven ecosystem that shaped PC gaming for a generation. So yeah, long story short, this is basically the origin story of Skibbity Toilet. Half-Life released alongside some of the most influential games of the era.
Yes.
The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid 1, Baldur's Gate, StarCraft, Thief, to name a few. Even
don't forget, wait, what are we talking about? I have misheard something.
Games of the era. Skibbity Toilet. Half-Life released alongside some of the most influential games of the era.
Yeah. Okay.
The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid 1, Baldur's Gate, StarCraft, Thief, to name a few. Even
name a few. Yeah. I agree. But didn't Unreal 1 came out at the same time? I think it did. And Unreal 1 was kind of big back then. Sadly, they completely don't care about Unreal anymore. Fucking Epic Games. Stupid bitches. Fucking cunts.
in a year packed with defining titles, Half-Life stood out. But how can this ancient relic of gaming history compare to its modern AAA counterpart? Well, it can't, because there are none. Modern first-person shooters have splintered into two extremes. On the one side, you have the cinematic blockbuster FPS. This is about cutscenes, spectacle, and set pieces. And on the
I hate it. I don't want all these cutscenes, I want gameplay.
The other side, you have the live service brain rot loop geared towards micro-robbing your deadbeat ass of all of its shekels. Sorry if that...
I also don't like that. For the most most part. I rather... to be fair, I play Arc Raiders, right? But yeah. I'm kind of done with live service games. I mean, there are so many out there. But why would I even try all of them when I already have something that works? Like Arc Raiders. I'm fine with that. As long as the game stays good, I will play it. As long as I'm not totally bored, I will play it. And the thing is, I don't overplay it. I have less than 200 hours in the game, and I play since launch. And the game is still a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I really, really like it.
That felt like a bit of a low blow. I just don't have any sympathy for people that waste hours and hours of their lives on these games and buy skins like this.
And then 1 year later, a new game comes out with the same name, and you have to do everything again. Awesome.
Almost entirely disappeared is the Half-Life 1 format, a single-player, story-driven, first-person shooter experience. I mean, I don't really need to give an example for you to understand what I'm saying, but the closest thing I can think of as a like-for-like comparison to Half-Life 1 that came out in the last 2 years or so is genuinely Black Ops 7. How f***ed up is that?
And that game is so shit.
Anyway, we're about 5 minutes into the video, and I haven't really started reviewing the game yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. But stick around till the end to find out why this is genuinely my favourite game that I've played all year.
Enemy engaged.
Emergency. User dead enemy.
Half-Life begins with Gordon Freeman.
I literally played it last year, and I enjoyed basically everything before Zen. When we went to Zen, I almost rage quit the game. That's how bad Zen is.
Certified autist, gigolo, and science team member at the Black Mesa Research Facility. He's arriving to work for what should be a routine day. However, a test goes wrong, a little resonance cascade occurs, and portals to hell and/or space open throughout the facility.
Space, different dimension, something like that.
Out of these portals come unfathomable horrors from another dimension. The event tears through Black Mesa instantly. Hallways are wrecked, power systems fail, and staff are seemingly attacked before they even understand what's happening. As you move through Black Mesa, you discover that the military have arrived. Oh, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, they're gonna save us. Yeah, this is good news. They're gonna save us. Look how safe they are. They got guns and boots and armor and stuff. Yeah, they'll be able to take on the aliens for sure. We're good. This is fine.
Foreshadowing to the 7-hour war that Earth loses. And yes, spoiler alert.
However, the military response is not actually a rescue mission, but an attempt to contain the incident completely by cleansing the facility of both aliens and surviving staff. With that in mind, you're left to navigate a huge collapsing research complex while being caught between two sides of a battle. And this actually leads me on to the first thing that I love about Half-Life, and that's Black Mesa itself. The majority of the game takes place here, and I have to ask, whatever happens to games just being set in one place? It's the old adage, narrow but deep is better than wide and shallow. In this one facility, you get to visit a dam, science labs, radioactive underground sewage networks, the desert, kinda.
Yeah. And it's great. It is. Just, literally, it just is great. Wait, don't tell me we are 720p. Disgusting.
A rocket silo, some offices, an indoor train network, and where I spent most of my time, the inside of this fish. Oh, and yeah, the alien plane of Zen, which I'm counting as being set in Black Mesa because that's where the portal to it is. So, sue me, I guess. Why did games stop doing this, though? Why do we need every new game to be the size of fucking Greenland to be classed as interesting? No one ever just sets their game in a big evil facility anymore. When a game is set in one place like this, it also helps with the story continuity. In Half-Life, you're never taken out of the shoes of Gordon Freeman because it simply isn't needed. I think there's literally 2 small cutscenes in the entire game. One of them's at the end of the game, and the other one is just randomly halfway through when you get captured by 2 soldiers, and they literally just throw you in the bin. You also don't get this bullshit.
Yes. He's absolutely right. And it's fine. I don't need cutscenes at the beginning and the end of each level, and maybe even in the middle. It's... Why? Just make the game good. Don't waste your money on that.
Of other characters having to text you or phone you to keep in touch. I really hate that trope because everyone who is a character can just show up old school style, you know, like in person, face-to-face human interaction type beat. I know, terrifying. And this is made possible by the scope of the game just being a bit more focused. What takes Black Mesa to the next level is the interactivity with the environment and the characters in it. And this is something Half-Life is famous for innovating in. There's a moment right at the beginning of the game where you first arrive at Black Mesa. You find yourself in a canteen with your colleagues, which is nothing special, but if you just start jamming E on this microwave here, you can cause a resonance cascade to this guy's casserole. This rule applies to basically everything. If it looks like you
tasty casserole. Man, I'm hungry.
You can interact with it, you probably can. And if you can't, it at least makes a cool little beep boop or other fun sound effect in lieu. And it doubly applies to any characters that you can find. They'll all have a little chin wag with you if you click E on them, and sometimes even if you don't. What the hell are you saying? You started talking to me. You can even turn this light switch off, which leads to these nerds getting frustrated and walking all the way over to turn it back on. For 19...
Did he call the physicists nerds? Of course.
1998, this was a really unnecessarily cool detail, and I really like it. The general attention to detail in this game is insane for the time. And I'm not talking about graphical detail, I'm talking about all the little touches they put in the environment to immerse you. Whether that's an openable locker for Gordon Freeman showing off his qualifications and books and this random love child, I guess. Or whether that's the vending machines that give you a can of soda when you hit E on them. You know, the soda drops down and you can drink it, but it doesn't actually do anything, it's just...
It does, it heals you. It heals you. It actually heals you.
It's just there for show. I love stuff like that. It's such a nice touch. But what really elevates this detail and interactivity is the friendly and enemy AI. Now, don't get me wrong. It can have its janky moments.
Actually, it can have a lot of janky moments. Like here, where the military that are sent in to kill everyone just ignore this science team nerd and decide to shoot me instead. Now, I'm absolutely certain that this was a racially fueled attack, and this is due to one of Gordon's grandparents actually being Hispanic. I don't think you
Really? I didn't know that. That's new to me.
Knew that about Half-Life, did you? Yeah, it's canon. Seriously, go on the Half-Life wiki, look it up. Not long after this, I call the elevator, and the door just slams down and turns this brain-dead scientist into a fucking casserole.
Get your dork ass down to the test chamber, or else I will shove the sample up your ass.
Oh, where does he go? Oh, he got absolutely minced. And not to overdo the point, at the literal top of this very same elevator, this happens. No one kills the science team, apart from me. Oh dear.
Grenade out.
That's not good.
I've been seeing.
You okay, boy?
Yeah.
Getting shot and eaten by one of those things.
Hello, Gordon.
Why are they like this? Huh? Apart from all that, the enemy AI really blew me away in combat, and I'm specifically referring to the military soldiers. The HECU AI in Half-Life 1 feels like it's always trying to interrupt you during combat. You rarely get to sit comfortably behind cover during a firefight and solve the fight tactically. Their movement and behavior keeps you on your toes throughout. The best example of this is how the enemies seem to communicate with each other to coordinate an attack. If you take some cover during a gunfight, they might try and flush you out with grenades whilst making a specific call out for this whilst they do it. Or they might try and rush you.
Yes, the AI is literally good. Unlike in modern games where you get just rushed by the enemies and you mow them down. The usual. Lazy modern gaming.
Whilst you're not looking. If you reposition, another soldier might flank you whilst others keep firing. Now compare that to most modern shooters where enemies either rush mindlessly or sit in cover waiting their turn. They might have better pathfinding and/or animations, but they rarely force meaningful decisions. Half-Life soldiers do, because they're designed with more thought and more love than we see in modern games today. And they can also hit scan you as soon as you pop out from cover. That's a great feature. The result of this is combat that's intense and genuinely fun, and it's why these encounters still stand the test of time for the most part. The way they communicate plays into how immersed you feel in the game, and for some reason this goes so much further at immersing me in the game personally compared to something like modern lifelike graphics. Now, allow me to nerd out here for a second. During firefights, HECU soldiers constantly communicate in ways that sell the illusion of a functioning unit under pressure. You'll hear lines like, "Cover me, I'm hit," and "Medic." But it's not an illusion. There's a surprisingly impressive system behind all of this. At the most basic level, Half-Life's AI is constantly doing two things: looking and listening. Every update, enemies check whether they can see you, whether you're inside their view cone, and whether they can hear you based on sound events in the world. That information gets boiled down into simple condition flags like enemy seen or not, and everything the AI does flows from those signals. If you break line of sight and reposition, the soldiers don't just keep firing forever. They stop, they move, they split up, they search for clues. The fight de-escalates into search.
I don't remember anything like that. But it doesn't mean it's not there.
Searching, flanking, or repositioning. That's because the moment you're no longer visible, the current combat plan becomes invalid and the AI is forced to build a new one. And crucially, the dialogue that I mentioned earlier, this isn't just for show. The soldiers aren't playing voice lines on random timers. They only speak after the AI has already confirmed an action is actually going to happen. If a grunt shouts, "Take cover," it's because the game has checked that cover exists and they're about to move there. If they lose sight of you and don't have a clear next action, they often go quiet. This tells you that the AI no longer has a clear plan to attack you. And that's what I like about it. The audio reflects actual intent. That connection between dialogue and behavior is a big reason the combat still feels so good today. Now, if you think that's cool, wait for this. The Marines also have the ability to work together in squads consisting of up to 4 members, including a squad leader. In a squad, they're capable of sharing information with each other, such as the enemy's location. The squad is erased when the leader dies, leaving the remaining soldiers to act independent from one another. These Marines are also coded to treat alien grunts and gargantuas as their arch nemesis. If either of those alien types are visible, they will choose to prioritize that as a target over everything else. The takeaway.
I didn't know that. And I have played the game plenty. But I never looked actually deep into it because I didn't care. It's that simple. I didn't care. But it's interesting.
From all of this is that Valve were basically one step away from AI sentience in 1998. All of these details make me want to go and rewatch Interloper. If you guys haven't seen that, seriously, you have to go watch it. It's absolute cinema. Oh, and my absolute favorite fun fact about these Marines is that in the German version of Half-Life 1, they were all replaced by robots.
Yeah.
This is due to the strict censorship rules that Germany had in place at the time. These rules basically meant that you couldn't show any human-on-human violence. So, instead of moments where you hear the HECU having...
Which is retarded. But the people that made those laws were retarded. It's that simple. And I have to know it. I am German. I had the German version. Everyone was a robot. And their blood was white. Because it was oily. And that was in all the games. All the games.
Very human conversations about the extinction level threat that is Gordon Freeman from the science team. You get this.
Interne Datenbank belegt. Diese Bioeinheit war bei der Explosion anwesend.
Now, everything I've just said there is enough for a game from 1998 to be considered something that stands the test of time and is 100% worth recommending that you replay or...
But the video is barely halfway through.
Play for the first time in 2025. The depth of its systems is challenging what AAA games of today pull out and screw up on a regular basis, but Half-Life is still so much more. The gunplay, guns, and movement is genuinely the funnest combination that I've experienced all year, so let me explain why. To sum the movement up, you're basically just very, very fast. Gordon has 1 speed when moving normally, and that's top fucking speed.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
The game doesn't even have a button to warp, at least not one that I found in my playthrough, or one that I was necessarily going to be looking for. There is of course the crouch button, which is super slow and low, which means I guess Freeman has 2 modes, Tortoise and Usain Bolt. You'd think the devs of a game world like this would want you moving a little bit slower through it to make sure that you didn't miss any of its lovingly crafted world, but no. To add to this madness, when you do try to decelerate from your terminal velocity, you don't even come to a dead stop. You skid a little with every movement, like you're wearing ice skates. Now, the upside of this is...
Yeah, and I didn't like that. At least the last time I played it. I literally don't remember if that ever bothered me before. But last time, yes, it bothered me.
When you're in a big firefight, you feel like a cracked out Fortnite player. The downside is when the game asks you to do even the most basic of platforming.
Yes.
The platforming appears semi-regularly throughout the game. It's often used to give you a break from the combat, but it's at its absolute worst towards the end of the game in Zen and the Lambda complex. In Zen, for example, they have narrow walkways and funny shaped platforms that just take the piss in a very unfun way.
Yes. I hated this area. I hated the boss fight so much. Now, the boss fight itself is very easy if you know what you're doing. And after I knew what I am doing, I had no problems defeating the boss. But before I knew, I was here a lot. And it was horrible.
And there's this moment in the Lambda complex where you're climbing up and out of this hole. And if it wasn't already hard enough, there's electricity randomly zapping around the room and vortigons everywhere. And in my playthrough, I made it even harder by quick saving right at the bottom with no health. And this resulted in me feeling like I'd unintentionally subjected myself to a Groundhog Day of cock and ball torture mixed with only up. Okay, maybe I'm not selling the movement too well right now, but I promise the feeling you get from skipping around the facility and during the gunfights is so worth it. It's another example of games back in...
It is. It really is. Oh my god, they really... The facehugger really has its mouth down there. Actually, you know, is it animated or is it a PNG? I don't know. Or a JPEG. I no clue. But it's there. It's nice. Nice detail. And it's actually very, very detailed.
in that day being less focused on realism and more obsessed with fun. We would later see the movement speed be dramatically reduced and controlled a little bit better in Half-Life 2. The guns in Half-Life 1 are exceptional. On face value, they don't look like anything special, but the credit isn't scored in their appearance. The credit is scored in their balance and situational utility. Okay, I have two options now.
Oh, you can destroy that thing? Okay. I didn't know that. So I got killed by it a couple of times. Of course.
I can review what I know is exceptional about these guns, or I can just be honest. Fuck it, I'll do both. Half-Life gives you 14 weapons. Every gun basically has its own situation where it shines, and a reason to exist all the way through the game. There's no power curve where one weapon replaces another or anything becomes irrelevant. The crowbar stays useful as a powerful melee option to conserve ammo. The pistol never becomes useless due to its reliability and the amount of ammo you can get for it throughout the game. And if you do run out of the pistol ammo, you can always murder one of your colleagues. Stick around until later in the video to find out exactly what I mean by that. Even the weird alien stuff has really valuable characteristics and functions. The thought process behind the guns was not about progressing them, but giving you a really stable set of tools, then changing the challenge around those tools. Games of today,
which is good design, you know, what the thing that modern games lack so much. And yes, there's a lot of shitting on modern games on this channel. Because, well, obvious reasons.
They don't do this anymore, really. The conventional firearms in this game are all about trade-offs and alternate fire modes. The Magnum hits like a truck, but you need to make every shot count. The MP5 is more chaotic and has a grenade launcher bolted on, while the shotgun is, well, it's a shotgun, and it has a double shot alternate fire mode. Even the crossbow isn't like a traditional sniper type. It's slow and powerful, but pretty limited in its applicability. Nothing really dominates, and the game tends to reward those who manage to carve out a moment to think about how they'll approach a fight and what they're going to use for it. As for the alien...
That's true. It's just true. The moment you stop for a moment and think about how to go about a situation, you're better off in the game. Now, if you have played the game 20 times through already, then you don't need it. Very obviously.
Sciencey stuff, you're firing living creatures, energy weapons that can hurt you instead of what you're pointing it at, bees that can hurt their target from around corners, and lots of explosives. Now for the honest truth. I didn't play this game thinking about the fantastic roster of guns and options and how to use them. Why, I hear you ask? Well, I think I was just having too much fun listening to the sound of these things. Okay, that might be a bit...
The sound of the guns is good. It really is. The audio is one of the strongest things of this game, in my opinion. I really like it. Same goes for Half-Life 2.
Of an excuse, but the truth is, I think on your first blind playthrough, you're not necessarily aware of the capabilities of all of the weapons. I didn't even know there were alternate fire modes for 80% of the damn game. I only started really understanding and using the major variety of weapons in...
Yeah, alternate fire modes for weapons was a standard back in the day. It's only, you know, in modern times that that's not the case anymore. Which is really bad.
In Zen, when I ran out of ammo for basically everything. I achieved this noble feat not by choosing my weapon depending on the encounter, you know, like the game was designed for you to do, but through a strategy I like to call favorite gun first. If my MP5 had ammo, I was using it. Close range, long range, didn't matter. No ammo in the MP5, Python time, and so on until I was taking down the Nihilant with a crossbow and the AIDS hand or whatever it's called. I can already hear the comments. I didn't play the game properly. Yada yada yada, shut the fuck up. I had fun, goddammit. And if anything, this approach still led me to using all of the weapons eventually, which I think interestingly is still a testament to Valve's game design here. Both the intelligent player and the below average player, let's say, can have just as much fun approaching the game in their own ways. There's no proper way to play this to maximize the fun. Oh, and I forgot to mention the aiming system. If you're aiming near your target, it's got a really nicely balanced aim assist enabled. I would usually be
Oh,
against
nice.
this, but when you're bouncing off the damn walls at the speed of sound, this comes in very handy. Half-Life always keeps it fresh though. Despite this mature system of enemy AI, addictive combat and movement, it doesn't just overuse it and think the game will be good enough. It's also very famous for its set pieces. The game consists of countless set pieces and mini set pieces.
Oh god. That's
These are
so
sometimes in place of cutscenes, or to add flavor at regular intervals throughout the level, or to establish the setting of the game, for example. It shows
like that one. Yeah. At the beginning, I think for almost 10 minutes, you are just on the rail. Just on railway to your job, which is great. So atmospheric.
a refreshing level of intentionality that you don't get from the rinse and repeat modern open world games anymore. Now it's all about radiant quests, dynamic encounters, and smelling our own farts.
Yeah.
My favorite set piece, which I'm calling this instead of a boss fight, is the tentacle battle. It happens in the chapter Blast Pit, where you drop into a rocket propulsion silo.
It's probably one of my least favorite things about this game. I hate this part. It's annoying as fuck.
And see this. You can't damage these tentacles, shooting doesn't do anything. Instead, you're forced to understand how they work. The tentacles track sound and vibration, and this is told to us by a very pale and cancerous looking man. However, sometimes when I play games, I just don't listen to things people say, and it can really set me back when it comes to situations like this. Like, who the fuck are you, and why are you in my face shouting at me? Go away. So, you're meant to distract them with grenades, or crouch and slowly navigate around them. You branch off into side areas with their very own set pieces, enemies, and puzzles. And you do this to power up the rocket engine by turning on the oxygen, fuel, and power. Then you make the same dangerous run back through the silo to the control room.
I got this!
When you finally fire the engine, the heat incinerates the tentacles and clears the way forward, and it's all very epic. It's a cool mechanic and a boss fight that's ultimately solved in a different way than we're used to. And I say that because the game's been very shooty so far. It feels like a well thought out and implemented break from the combat. They didn't just say, oh, give them some crappy puzzle to keep them awake and threw some shit in our direction. It combined some of the secondary features of the game into something more. It showed that no matter what you're asked to do in Half-Life, it can be really fun. Now let's take a look at what Black Ops 7 does to break up the combat, shall we?
Oh my god, that's so shit.
Oh, and one other point about these tentacles. Look how they react once they realize that the noise was a distraction. How immersive is that? Like, they feel like a real monster. They realize they've been tricked. They stop, let out a groan, and then go looking for the next sound to attack. I guess the only place in the game that I would say one of their set pieces didn't work out at all was the mission on a rail. This is probably the worst mission in the game. Every first-person shooter has one. The tank mission, the AC-130 mission.
Yeah, everyone hates that mission at that level. Everyone. Well, actually, not me. I don't hate it. I don't. Zen is way worse.
You get my drift. But man, even compared to those examples, you at least get so much more out of this mission than those missions. With this cart, you can jump on and off at any time, change the speed, stop it, start it, change directions by shooting these signal things. You can literally get off and traverse the whole area by foot if you're conscious of your carbon footprint. You can choose to clear the way ahead first of enemies, or you can whack the thing up to turbo speed and drive by these dudes gangster style. And this is just an example of a bad level still having decent mechanics and love put into it. There's also a really respectable level of variety when it comes to the alien type enemies too. These aren't just lazy reskins with different abilities. The Vortigaunts are weak but hit like a dump truck.
That's not a dump truck.
The headcrabs are slippery little customers that I really struggled to hit with the crowbar, even if they are sucking on my toes. You've got the alien grunts that take a lot of ammo to take down and look like that one dude down at the gym that's on steroids. I think there's about 15 different enemy types in this game, which is a lot even by today's standards. Yeah, I just googled it. There's like 3 main enemy types in Black Ops 7. We're so in the wrong timeline. Like, why is that popular and games like Half-Life 1 don't exist anymore? This
money. And the people that make the games these days are millennials. Back then, they were Gen Z. Gen Z? Yes, Gen Z. Gen Z? No. Gen X. You know, the ones before millennials. Now, the really old millennials like me still were able to create stuff, but younger millennials, they don't. They're incompetent. They're so fucked in the head. It's impossible.
Shit. The one particular enemy that caused me the most fear and panic was the Ichiosaur. You get introduced to this fuck multiple times throughout the game, so much so that any unassuming body of water was basically guaranteed to have one of these guys in it. All of that is well and good, but the way the game ebbs and flows between different places, set pieces, enemy types, and puzzles is its best feature that you really have to go and play to understand why it feels so good even in 2025. Did you know that Half-Life 1 has choices in it? Yes, moral choices in an FPS from 1998. Say you've encountered a scientist, you've saved them from danger and are escorting them to safety. You get them somewhere safe and you turn to them and they're giving you this look. You think, I could just fucking blow your brains out, mate. Yeah, no repercussions. So you do it again and again. You do it every time. And you know what? It makes sense. Gordon doesn't say a word the whole game. He's a blank slate for the player to impose their personality or psychotic tendencies on. He can be good or evil, and it doesn't have to be a central and mature game system to be enjoyable. Both make sense in the context of the game. And when you shoot them and nothing happens, this is so realistic given the situation. People are dying everywhere. Who cares about this one old man? And on top of that, you often encounter them like one-on-one, alone, and there's no one else around. Like, who's going to punish me for letting this intrusive thought become an intrusive action? It's like if a tree falls down in the middle of the woods and no one is around to hear it, kind of thing. If you slide your gun into this old man's mouth and gently pull the trigger and no one's around to see or hear it, did it happen? I'd argue not. But this doesn't just apply to you and Gordon. You can even hear the HECU soldiers talking about killing scientists. The game, with moments like this, demonstrates that there's a distinct lack of humanity on display in Black Mesa, which is strange, because every human here, before the resonance cascade occurred, was most likely a good person. You had military men, patriots, scientists, and security guards. No one is really a typical baddie, yet they're all fighting and killing each other. I mean, even most of the aliens that come through the portal apparently didn't even want to be here. Look, they have handcuffs on. It's interesting to think about. I'm also trying to make a case here that Gordon canonically slaughters all of the scientists and security guards, but I'm not sure it's working.
Really? Yeah, I don't believe that. I absolutely don't believe that that's canon. Absolutely not.
One thing for sure, though, is that those HECU men definitely had families. Now, that earlier point regarding the aliens not wanting to be here does have one exception, and that's this guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is that? Oh my god.
Wait.
Oh my god.
Is that thing a prisoner too?
Fuck. In the later chapters, Gordon is transferred to Zen, the alien border world and location of the Nihilin. This guy is the super powerful being that's holding open the portal still to our world. And as Old Man Kleiner tells us, we have to be the one to defeat him in what realistically feels like a Hail Mary from the science team. David and Goliath would be an understatement. Zen is obviously a huge change of pace compared to Black Mesa. It's practically the complete opposite in every single department.
Yes, and that's why everyone hates it. No one likes that shit. No one. Absolutely no one likes this.
You know, like vibe-wise. The atmosphere becomes eerily quiet and unfamiliar. Only the sounds of the Zen wildlife and the strange hums of the alien world accompany you. You even traverse the space differently now, with low gravity for longer jumps, and you're going to need this to avoid the endless voids surrounding you and below you. As Gordon progresses deeper, he reaches the Gonarch's lair, and this is one of the most memorable encounters in the game, I think. The Gonarch is a massive, grotesque creature with what is frankly a giant ballsack hanging below it. The fight is fairly lengthy, spanning multiple different areas as Gordon pursues this thing with bloodthirsty intent. Simmer on that for a second. Mr. Glasses here lands on a terrifying alien planet for the first time, and within 5 minutes he's chasing something 20 times the size of him through his own living room as it runs in fear. Gonark might have one big ball, but Gordon has two, and his are somehow bigger. But Gordon doesn't stop there. He proceeds to tame and ride an alien bird, murder all of the inhabitants on yet another floating rock before... And this is when the game suddenly shifts.
Yeah.
Blue shifts. If you thought this game didn't have any more surprises, you're wrong, because you've just stumbled into the survival horror section of the game. As Gordon traverses the next few areas, he starts to hear the unsettling groans and ramblings of the Nihilant. This is to show that we're getting closer to this super powerful being that needs to be introduced to our crowbar. The area we're in now is an alien...
I hate this area. I absolutely hate it. It's so rage-inducing. I said it earlier, I almost rage quit this shit. Man, it was so bad.
Factory, and the environment shifts in appearance to match this change in atmosphere. It goes from light sci-fi to full H.R. Geiger. The walls seem to be covered in bones and these columns covered in spiny things. After making it out of this area, we hear more from the Nihilant, telepathically talking to us, telling us that they're the last of their kind. It has an oversized head, tiny legs that barely seem functional, and an obvious psychic vibe. When you enter the arena, the Nihilant is just hanging around in front of you, shielded by several...
By the way, the arena? The arena.
It has an oversized head, tiny legs that barely seem functional, and an obvious psychic vibe. When you enter the arena...
That's 100% poop. I absolutely believe that 100% the Nihilants poop. I absolutely believe that.
The Nihilant is just hanging around in front of you, shielded by several large fireball thingies that represent its shields. There are also 3 crystal nodes embedded around the chamber, and he periodically uses these to recharge his shields.
Yes, and you can destroy them. You can destroy them. Which is one of the first things I realized about the fight last time I fought him.
It attacks with the power of piss lasers and purple drank bombs. It teleports enemies into the arena, and it continuously assaults you with psychic attacks and teleportation balls that will take you out of the arena and drop you into a number of different new hells. And each of these hells has its own challenges. This teleportation attack is by far the most devastating, as you have to waste ammo and resources in getting back into the main area with the Nihilant. Oh, and one of these small hells even makes you platform your way out whilst getting attacked by these flying fucks. The space itself becomes part of the challenge. The arena is tall and very open, and movement is centered around verticality rather than running between covers. To make progress, you have to destroy the crystal power source.
Actually, you can just destroy it. You destroy the crystals. You hide behind one of those fire thingies on the ground that's close to the wall. And you come from cover, shoot him, go back, cover shooting. And when he is down to attacking you only with one lightning thing, that's where you can kill him. How do I know it? Because I did it.
That are sustaining its shield. This means using the jump pads to launch yourself into the air and lining up shots mid-flight. You're also constantly moving to evade threats that he spawns in around you. Once these crystals are destroyed, the Nihilant becomes vulnerable. Its head opens up like your mum's legs on a Friday night, exposing its weak spot. When it finally dies, the entire structure destabilizes. Zen begins to collapse, and the game cuts sharply away from combat to the G-Man. What do you mean, who is the G-Man? Wait. Oh, I haven't mentioned the G-Man this whole video. Oh, for fuck. Now, you know what? I don't think I need to mention this guy. If you don't know who the G-Man is and you're watching this video, comment down below. I genuinely do not think it's possible to have this game coming up in your algorithm and you don't know who the G-Man is. I guarantee...
True.
there will not be one genuine comment like this. So yeah, the game concludes with the G-Man on behalf of his employers offering us a job. I actually cannot fathom who or what this guy's employers are. If you think about it, all of the smartest people on Earth were probably in Black Mesa. Then you have the Zen creatures and the Nihilanth, which is a major step in intelligence above them. Then you have the Combine that, spoiler alert, the Nihilanth was running from. Then you have the G-Man who seems to be—
Oh! Is that canon? I didn't know that. Why did no one tell me? Why did it take me 22 years since Half-Life 2 came out to be told that the Nihilanth ran from the Combine? Why? Why did no one tell me? No, I'm pissed.
Puppeteering the events like it's just another Tuesday or something for him. Then above him, you have his employers. Like, what? There are some serious levels to the forces at play in this series, and they just haven't been explored enough. And this is why people are so desperate for Half-Life 3. But that's besides the point. At the center of all of this, undefeated, is Big Bald Gordon the Crowbar Freeman, hero of Earth and conqueror of space. So yeah, after all that, I don't think Half-Life 1 is just still good for its age. I think it's still good full stop. Not because it's technically impressive by modern standards or because nostalgia is doing heavy lifting. After all, this was my first time playing it. But I think it's because every part of it is pulling in the same direction. The AI, the level design, the sound, the movement, the guns, the pacing. None of it is bloated. None of it is wasteful. It's made with passion and creativity. It's a game that's made to be played rather than watched. And somehow in 1998, Valve managed to make something that modern AAA shooters, with all their money and tech, just don't want to make anymore. So no, there still isn't a Half-Life 3.
Because they are... I guess they think that people need all those cutscenes and stuff like that, which they don't. Literally, no one actually cares. If you had the cutscenes and they weren't cutscenes, they were just you as a player seeing that, it would be fine. It would actually be better.
But honestly, after playing this, I kind of get why. Because when you make something this tight, this influential, and this fun, and repeat that magic 3 times after, by the way, comment down below if you want me to review the other games, it must be monumentally terrifying to even begin to think about how to deliver that again for the fans. And the hype only grows the longer they wait. But on the bright side, Old Bag's recommendation is to go and play Half-Life 1. You won't regret it. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see me cover next, and subscribe if you want to see more videos similar to this one. Bag out. Love you all very much, and I want to give you a kiss on the cheek.
With the exception of the kiss on the cheek, everything he said. Like, comment, subscribe. Good video. Really, really good video. Really good video. Here's the link. 3 hours, 15 minutes. I think we will change the pace. I'm gonna go make me a sandwich, get me something to eat, and then we gonna play Ark Raiders. Which means we will change from the YouTube main channel, the campfire, to the Plays channel. And we also gonna start streaming on Kick then, not Kick, Rumble. Kick and Twitch, we just can just wait until I'm back. Yeah, that's YouTube. That's it for today for you. If you wanna watch some Ark Raiders gameplay, we are switching to the other channel. Bye bye. And now